Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eduonix live training session. Really appreciate you guys taking out time today for such a wonderful session. I can already see we have got over 40 participants, and there may be some more joining in. Uh, well, we will get started very soon for this lovely session with our trainer today, Dr. Darshan Ingle. Before I introduce him, I would like to thank each one, every one of you for spending time during the weekday for such a such time. So, just wanted to understand if you guys can just put on the chat if you guys can hear me clearly. Just put yes if you can. Let me just open the chat. Okay. So, okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Guys, just one quick question before we get started. So let's understand where are we located. So I would like to know if each one of you can just put in the chat which country are you actually attending this session from. So okay, so I see a lot of countries already coming in. So we have got India, Nepal, Germany. Wow, so that's France, there's Greece, Portugal, US. Great. So I think this shows that the amount of the amount of enthusiasm you guys have already for this upcoming live session. Great. So okay, so there is someone from Ghana as well. Okay, great. I can't pronounce your name, but yes, it in the chat says this video is recorded. Yes, and at the end of this session, we will ensure that we will get the recorded session curated and added to your Eduonix dashboard. So be rest assured, even our trainers PPT, the Jupyter notes, which you will be used during the session, we will ensure we'll collate it properly and we will add it to you in the next 24 hours after this session has ended. So hang on tight, and you will be definitely getting the benefit out of this session. So guys, and I see already we have got how many we've got. Yeah, so we got quite a few people who have joined in. So I will just, we have over 52 in fact. So I will just introduce our trainer, Dr. Darshan. He is actually a corporate trainer who has been associated with Eduonix for quite some time. Also, he's been quite experienced with use of AI and ML, especially in the medical field. And of course, he will be training us quite a few things today with regards to natural language processing using the technology. So before I hand it over, just another 30 seconds before we wait for people to join in. Atul, I I had checked with the rest of the people. I think you just need to maybe rejoin once more. I Because I checked with everyone if they are able to hear me. So everyone's able to hear me. Ritik, we will for this session, this particular activity. There's no certification, but there is a lot to gain from this activity today. So yeah, before we move ahead, just wanted to share my screen. So Dr. Darshan, just one moment. I'll share my screen pretty quickly. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I would like to welcome each and every one of you for this live online training session for natural language processing in machine learning. And actually, you'll learn to build algorithms. So today, Dr. Darshan will help you out. And please be rest assured that you will not just gain a lot of knowledge, but there are quite a few goodies, a few giveaways which are coming up your way throughout this session, as well as we are running a contest in which Dr. Darshan will pick a lucky dip winner who will get $100 worth of voucher from Eduonix. Doesn't that sound interesting? How many of you find this interesting? Just put it on the chat, guys. Great, great. Okay, I see a good response from every one of you. Thank you. So, guys, without wasting too much time, let's get started. I'll stop my sharing. Dr. Darshan, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivek. Very good evening to all of you over here. Myself, Dr. Darshan Ingle. Mm, Vivek has already introduced me, so I don't think it makes any sense to introduce myself again. But I mean, this is just for your reference, my biodata in very short. Okay, so I'm basically a trainer who train in the entire area of AI ML. It's been quite a long time I'm in this field, and I'm associated with many organizations. A few of them are being listed over here. I have around 13 international journals to my credit and 2 patents, which are of course still in the pipeline, I would say. And yes, so following is my training experience, and it's kind of always something wherein I would still say that people call me as an expert in AI ML. I would still say that I'm still a learner, okay? Because the field itself is so huge that practically it is not possible for anyone to know each and everything in this field. So I mean, no one should either call himself as an expert, because the moment you say you are an expert, there is no one who is better than you. So, of course, I don't belong to that category. I'm still a learner, learning every day some new things. And that is how I would also advise you to be throughout the life, right? The moment you stop learning, your progress actually starts deteriorating. So, it is very important for you to stay focused and follow a path and make sure you are learning, because today we are living in the era where if you stop learning, well, your growth stops. So the amount of knowledge that you have, the amount of learning, or the amount of inclination you have for your learning is directly proportional to your wealth. This is what the famous personalities say. So yes, so I would advise you all to stay focused and learn. The more you learn, the more you get. As simple as that. Perfect. So now let me get started with the session. It is very important for me to tell you how is the scope of the session going to be. So what's the agenda for the session, guys? We are going to start with the following thing. The first thing is we'll be talking of what is exactly natural language processing. Okay, let me just change the ink to another color, yellow. Yeah, what is exactly natural language processing? So starting with this, because our today's session is mainly focusing on NLP, and NLP is something which is in so much demand today that it's very difficult to even predict what could be the scope of NLP in the upcoming 5 years from now. It's very hugely in demand. Then we are going to understand how machines and humans interact. Then few short things about history of natural language processing. Then we'll also talk of why natural language processing in today's generation, need for NLP, and to be very honest, these all parts is going to take hardly, I would suggest, 10 minutes, not more than that, because I'm not going to bore you with a lot of theoretical aspect. Our main focus is going to be on the programming part of it. So that's how we are going to focus. Well, yes, but this is something which is very important, wherein I will additionally take 10 minutes on this particular topic. Then we talk of the challenges and the scope of natural language processing, and that's it. That's the end of the theoretical aspect of our today's session. And what remains after this is the hands-on project, wherein we are going to do the sentiment analysis on the restaurant data set. So that's how the things are going to be structured for today's session. So yes, so let's get started to understand what is exactly NLP. Well, we have to understand over here that we all know, right? I mean, there is no one over here who will say that, hey, Darshan, I don't know what is natural language processing. At least in short, you know the full form of NLP, natural language processing. So would say what is exactly NLP? Precisely, it is a branch of AI, and it helps the machines to deal with the human languages. So, how do machines understand English? Well, that is exactly the role of NLP comes. What is natural language? Well, the languages which humans speak, the human languages. For example, since I belong to India, I would say English, Hindi, French, or German, etc., etc. All of these are human languages, and how to make sure that the machine understands it. That is, how does the machine process one of these languages and make sure that it reverts? It is exactly natural language processing. So I would say it helps the machine to deal with natural languages. So how is my machine going to deal with the languages? Well, here comes the role of processing of that natural language, which we call as natural language processing. So precisely, I would say that yes, this is exactly where NLP resides. You need to have some idea of computer science, human language, who doesn't have it? But again, you have to be very much sure that what type of human language are you targeting. For example, if you say that I want to build a NLP model for English language, I can do it because I have studied English language. But tomorrow, if someone says that, can you do it for German? Well, I don't even know that language. So knowing that language is also important, then only you can think of processing it. How will you understand whether the final outcome you are getting is correct or not? So processing of the things makes a very important impact over here. And artificial intelligence. So I would say, well, NLP helps the machine to understand, interpret, and manipulate the human languages. And most of our natural language processing techniques depend on machine learning to derive the meaning from the human languages. Well, now let me tell you, people are like, when to study NLP? Well, I would say the best time to study NLP is once you know machine learning. Well, yes, this is, I would say, rather a prerequisite for us. Machine learning is a prerequisite for us to understand the later part of it. Okay. So after machine learning, well, the area actually bifurcates into two things. The number one part, you can either explore the area of image processing. I don't say you can't do both, but usually the specialization goes like this, either image processing or natural language processing. Okay. Now, when it comes to natural language processing, well, this is in a very huge demand as compared to image processing. You know why? Because if you consider the research scope of image processing today, a lot of research is already done in this era. I don't say that no further research is possible, but today, for example, you look at the mobile phones. Every mobile phone says, hey, I have AI enabled camera. Every mobile phone has that AI enabled camera, right? If you see, I mean, even if you buy a rupee 20,000 mobile phone versus a rupee 40,000 mobile phone, I don't say that the photo quality of both is exactly the same. Obviously not, but certainly the quality given by 20,000 rupees mobile phone is also not that bad. It's very much to sustain with. So therefore, I say that a lot of work in the image processing is already being done, and most of the patents in the area of image processing are held by the Chinese people, and 2% of the patents are held by the US people. So I would say that not a lot of scope is actually left up in the area of image processing, but when it comes to NLP, well, sky is the limit. You know why? Because natural language processing can be done. In fact, it is being done for a few of the languages. For English, it's available. For French, it's available. For German, it's available. But tomorrow, if you say for regional languages, let's say like Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali, or Chinese, okay, natural language processing models do not exist for this languages till now. So, you know, one can actually take up his or her PhD statement as this. Okay, designing of the NLP library for Hindi language or maybe for Chinese language. So it has a huge area, it has a huge demand, right? So, and it has a huge scope for working as well, right? So if you are planning to work in the area of image processing, then it is going to be the first challenge for you to find out the area where you find a lacuna, something which has not been developed now. And then you actually start going into or working into that area. However, if you talk of natural language processing, well, finding out the lacunas is going to be comparatively much more simpler, because it is actually very simple because of the kind of the work which has happened in this particular area. So I'm not discouraging you to not go into this area. Certainly you can. This also has a tremendous potential, but NLP is outshining, I should say that. So going ahead now, let's try to understand non-technically, okay, non-technically how humans and machines interact. I would say, hey, why not consider the example of Amazon Alexa? How do machines and humans interact? Well, the first point would I would suggest is yes, the humans are going to talk to the machine. Second, the machine, the moment a human talks to the machine, I say, hey Amazon, turn on this particular song, or Alexa, I say, turn on the lights. So what is going to happen in that particular case? The machine is going to do what? It is going to capture my audio. Once that is done, the third task which the machine does is the audio which it has captured, it would be converting that to the text. That is going to be one of the crucial tasks for this. What after this? Well, after this starts the most important stuff, which I call as processing of the text. Well, this is exactly where our NLP belongs. As you can see, we are saying over here, it is processing of the text data. Precisely, what is my text data? Natural language processing, right? So whichever language which the machine has received input, processing of that. And finally, we have the fifth step, where whatever the processing has been done by the machine, that is in machine level language, I need to convert it back to the audio form. And once it is converted, finally, I would say that yes, now the machine is going to respond to the human through this audio file. So precisely this is the cycle which is going to iterate again and again, and machines and humans interact. This was a very non-technical way of looking at the problem, because I understand and I also committed you all that yes, even if you don't have background of machine learning, I will try my level best that every one of you understand each and everything in the hands-on session. So therefore I'm kind of trying to give a build up so that everyone is more and more comfortable, and we can step up slowly and steadily in an incremental fashion, that none of us gets lost. So I see 65 learners in this meeting as of now. I don't want any one of you to leave the session unless and until I complete. So that is exactly what is my agenda. So some of the technical people who do have some idea of NLP or some idea of machine learning, they may be like, when are you going to start with the hands-on? Well, hold on. Everything is going to be very interesting, and every slide is going to be a good learning experience. So just stay connected. Next, history, not to brag much about it. Well, NLP is not something which is new. In fact, work of NLP actually started in 1950 when Mr. Alan Turing, yes, he is the one. Well, he revealed an article over here which is known as Machine and Intelligence. Okay, he published an article which is known as Machine and Intelligence, where he actually tried to automate the translation between the Russian language and English language. Okay, you can understand in 1950. So that was of course not a very powerful model, but certainly an eye opener for many of the researchers. It's always, research is all about how early you invent the things, right? In so next, 1960, then the work of the linguistic scientist Chomsky. Well, people who are engineers, I'm sure they might have studied the subject which is called as theoretical computer science or automata theory, popularly known as that. Well, the persons, the Chomsky, that scientist Chomsky is a very famous personality. He has worked in the area of linguistic, uh, in the area of the linguistics, where he actually had published a paper on the formal language theory and generative syntax. And he, by the way, he is Mr. Chomsky. And in 1990, then few of the probabilistic models actually started getting developed, and people started to understand the significance of that. So you see, almost after 3 decades, people started realizing the importance of that, because at that time, machines were not powerful. Research was, yes, it was going on. I don't say that there were gaps in between these 10 years. People were continuously working, but processing power was not available. You remember, I mean, when I was in my college, I used to use floppy disk, which had just 1.44 MB of memory. And I am 1987 born. This is 1950. I mean, you can understand what could be the amount of memory available at that time. Still, researchers managed to work in this area. Then in 2000, large quantity of the spoken textual data became accessible. And in 2010, of course, I'm not taking everything inside it. These are the few big landmarks which I have made a note of. In 2010, the representation of learning and deep neural networks in NLP actually started. So now let's get started with human language. Let's try to understand what is human language. So, well, I would say that if you want to understand natural language processing, let us first understand how is a human language. See, for you, it is very easy. Whenever I'm speaking, you understand each and every word. But I want you to think right back to the start. Well, what do you look whenever you look at a paragraph? Whenever you look at a paragraph, when you read at a paragraph, what is the most basic or the root form of the thing that you look in that paragraph? Let me hear it from you. What is that thing that you see in a paragraph? Let's say there's an English textual paragraph there in front of you. Let's say a newspaper. If we have a newspaper in front of us, and there's an article which you are finding interesting, well, what do you read? You try to recognize the words. I would say, Biju, I would say, I mean, you try to recognize the words, but if I say machines don't know what is noun, machines don't know what is word, machines don't know the caption of the topic. The very first, as I told you, we have to go back to the naive level. So yes, I would say the first and foremost thing, if you want to understand any natural language, is going to be the alphabets, right? Well, if you know alphabets, then as you all said, you can think of understanding words. Words is what? Words is nothing but the combination of the alphabets, right? So all of you are thinking, right, well, that's your subconscious mind. Without even understanding things, we say that, hey, it's the words, it's the headline of the topic, because you have studied that language from past 20-25 years. So for you, it's like, don't talk all these stupid things to me, talk on a holistic level. But now we are in the phase where we are trying to make a dumb box, a idiot box, a laptop or a computer or a machine understand the English language. So how will this machine understand it? Well, you have to explain him what is alphabet, then what are words, and precisely after that comes the second fundamental part, which is sentence, which is combination of words. So now the thing is, are you going to teach grammar to this machine? Well, honestly speaking, no. But if you talk of people like us, then sentences don't make sense unless and until I apply any grammar rules over it. Then I would say that yes, this is something which makes sense. Let us call it as meaningful sentence. So what do we understand from this is, just like we have learned from our childhood till today, similarly the machine also has to go through those steps. Else how will the machine understand the language? I mean, you only take yourself. Let's say if you belong to a country where you know English language. Let's say if I take my example, okay, I know English, Hindi, and Marathi language. Tomorrow, if someone says that, hey, this is a German newspaper, come on, read it and tell me. I don't even know the characters in German. So you understand over here that the same problem, this is the same problem which the machine indeed is going to face, right? So therefore, it's very important for you to think at the very lowest level. And that is the reason here comes NLP. So we understand the significance of NLP. It is the hallmark of human intelligence. And why NLP? Because today we have a lot of image data, no doubt, but image processing is already, as I told you, saturated. And nowadays we have a largest repository of the textual data, and it's growing day by day. And this is where NLP represents these computer programs that understand the text or speech. So coming on to this, the next thing is, what is the need for NLP? Well, very basic need, I would say that today, you know what? We are living in the era where you have a lot of unstructured data. What I mean by unstructured data, data which is not structured. Or rather, let me tell you that today, if I talk of how much structured data is available, well, only 21% of the structured data is available. Rest all data is unstructured. So what is structured data? Well, if you look at the data which is there in the Excel file, okay, if you look at the data in the Excel file, if I say there's a mark sheet of a student, so what will that comprise of? Roll number, let's say name, followed by, just assuming, his physics marks, chemistry marks, mathematics marks, biology marks. So that is how the mark sheet of the student is going to look like, of course with some other columns like total, percentage, CGPA, etc things, right? So we see over here that the data is in a pretty structured format. So if I say that, hey, can you read out me what is my record number 1, then I just need to refer one of the row and it's done. So for you or for a machine, it's going to be pretty much sorted. But just imagine that you have this data, okay, this PPT. I say that, hey, this is a PPT. Try to extract the information from this. This is purely unstructured. If I tell you that, hey, this is what is there in the PPT, can you help me out what it is? Well, you will immediately start reading the PPT. After reading the PPT, you will say that, yes, sir, it is about natural language processing, where it is about explaining a machine how to understand a natural language. So you understand that very quickly, okay? But machine won't understand it because it is in unstructured format. Machine only understands the data which is like this in the Excel sheet, right, in the structured format. And unfortunately, only 21% of the data in today's world happens to be structured. Well, let us take few examples. Look at Facebook. I mean, you post so many things on Facebook. Do you think the data that you post on Facebook is in structured format? Do you, whenever you write a post, do you paste it in some particular format or you have your own format? Yes. If you say that you are going to post a post to your Facebook, maybe you visited some place of late. So are you going to post it in a particular format or everyone has their own format? Yes. It's going to be same or different. Let me hear it from you. Correct. So it is going to be purely your own formats, right? Correct. So some people have a format. Let's say if I, since I belong to India, so I'll just take examples over here. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, where we say, clean India, I would say. Okay, for people who are from other countries, clean India. So they tag the prime minister. So at the rate, they type Narendra Modi. Then they write hashtags followed by some hashtags. Then they write their tweet or their comment. Then they add some photographs, and with the photograph they have some captions available, right? So what do we see over here? Well, we see over here that the data is unstructured. Similarly, WhatsApp, I mean, you chat with your friend, is it in a structured format? Obviously not. Look at whatever you tweet on Twitter or whatever you post on Instagram, or even any of the messaging software that you talk of, well, none of the data is in structured format. And now the question over here comes is, how do you analyze such huge amount of unstructured data? Well, I would say the solution for that is text mining. Well, the name sounds a bit intimidating, but in simple words, we also call it as text analysis. Text mining is nothing but text analysis, which is nothing but the process of deriving insights from the natural language text. So the process of deriving the insights from natural language text. Let us write it over here. I say it is the process of deriving insights from the natural language text. Well, what do you think? What all is the part of it? Well, it consists of three parts. First is you try to convert the data into the structured format. Second, then you try to derive patterns from the data. And third, you try to evaluate the output. So these all are the things. So as I told you, I don't want to get into more of theoretical aspect. It's a webinar, so let us stick to the agenda and very quickly go ahead to the hands-on. So before that, small things, different aspects of NLP. Well, as I told you, okay, NLP is the ability of the computer to analyze, understand, and generate human language. And today, yes, we are going to study one such model where I will prove it to you that yes, computers do understand English language. So it is a language, it is a system, a set of rules, or a set of symbols, where symbols are combined and used for conveying some information. So in natural language processing, these rules are used for handling the symbols, and NLP is one of the component of AI. Now, enough of all this generic things. Let us get on to some real-time applications which are actually used in industries of natural language processing. Applications of NLP. Well, the very first application of NLP, let me hear it. Speech recognition. Well, who doesn't know? I'll just give you some good examples of speech recognition. Well, the very first one, I'll give one example, you give few other examples. I say Amazon Alexa. Well, I give you one example where communicate with a machine. So give me few other examples where NLP is used today. Yes, Apple users, Siri, Google Talk, correct. Google Talk is one of it. Then yes, Google Home is another good application, correct. Microsoft Cortana, yes. So now you understand over here, please understand what could be the level of processing of these NLP models where you speak and they actually do it. In fact, the Google Maps is also one of the good application where you say, hey, Google, navigate me to Mumbai. So it will navigate you. So it is heavily being used. Okay, that's a proof that yes, NLP is leading in today's era. Machine translation. Well, what is machine translation? I will give a very simple example to understand where it is used. Google Translate, who doesn't know that? I mean, even if I go to Google, that's my WhatsApp, close, and well, we all have used it, but just a quick, well, I say I don't know it, but I'm typing over here. Why is it not coming? My name is Darshan. Obviously, everyone doesn't know Bangla. So let me first convert to Hindi. Mera naam Darshan hai. So it clearly converts it. Well, there are some Germans over here. So if I think of converting to this, within no time it converts it, right? Within no time. Similarly, well, I don't know these languages, but just trying out German to French or the vice versa. I mean, just look at the time it takes to translate any language to any language. It has such a huge repository of language, and Google is giving this to us free of cost. Okay, well, this is a pre-trained model and it just does within a fraction of nanoseconds. So yes, NLP is very much useful and used in today's world. Second, chatbot. Well, I just love examples of chatbot, and we all love chatbot, right? I mean, today we have chatbot in not on Amazon website but on Amazon app or Flipkart app, and it has saved multiple hours of people like us. I mean, if we have any question related to product, well, today we need not talk to customer care executive, where it was found that an average Indian spends around 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes waiting for the customer executive to pick up the call. So you can imagine, in a population of 130 cr, even if let's say 10% of the people are shopping from Amazon, 10% of 130 cr, which is 13, okay, 13 cr multiplied by 2, so that's straight 26 crores of wasted time. Is my voice clear? Smriti is saying she can't hear me. Guys, if it is clear, please comment VIC. Voice is clear. Yes, Smriti, there I think you should consider rejoining. Please try, Smriti. Thank you very much, guys. Perfect. So Amazon app, I mean, you used to spend such a huge amount of time, and today just on a few clicks you get the things, and you don't have to wait either, and it's free of cost, right? So it's, oh, this is exactly what is the application. Subrata, I am perfectly audible. I don't think there is any problem. I think you should think of using an earphone in that case, because my voice is very much loud and clear. Perfect. Probably the audio of your device should be uh, having a weaker speaker. So please use an earphone. Okay, use an earphone. Perfect. So Amazon app, well, Flipkart. In fact, the Adani electricity website, if you see, in fact, you go to any website today, everyone has incorporated chatbots, right? So it's very useful. Okay, just imagine another good example is, let's say, what do you call, let's say a doctor. Okay, a doctor who is running a pathology lab. Well, he has two assistants under him, and they are not very professional in their work. Instead of giving them a salary of X amount every month, who actually come to work out of the 30 days, let's say they turn up only 25 number of days, and another guy turns out only for 20 number of days, and because of that the patient count is getting affected, because it's very unprofessional, right? Instead of that, let's say, instead of a person like that, let's say there's a chatbot, there's straight away a device on which you can take up the appointment, get what all are the details, and straight away arrive at the right time for the testing. I mean, how cool is that? And yes, chatbots help us achieve that. So it's certainly very effective. Next, information retrieval. Well, information retrieval is our Google, right? What should I say more about that? Google, right? Finding information according to the given query is nothing but called as information retrieval, where Google finds relevant and similar results using information retrieval. Similarly, next is information extraction. What does that mean? Well, it means automatic extraction of the structured information from unstructured or semi-structured machine readable documents. Extraction of structured information from unstructured or semi-structured machine readable documents. uh, Let me give you another practical example where it is used. We all use Gmail, right? All over the world. I'm sure none of the participants over here who is not using Gmail or not familiar with Gmail. Well, have you ever seen this thing? Gmail actually structures the events from the emails. Right? So if let's say if I'm sending an official invite to someone, hey, you are invited to my birthday party at this point at this time, do you automatically see that Gmail gives you an option to add it to the calendar as a reminder? Have How many of you have seen that? Have you seen that? Automatically adding it, right? So Yes, correct. So we do see that very often. And as a sender, I never did that, but it is the natural language processing. Oh, Subrata, hey, this is a very good example. Subrata is saying that, in fact, he did this for this webinar. So who does that? Well, it's done by the NLP, correct? Sagar also did it. So all these things makes a lot of sense over here. So there is not even an area which NLP has left untouched. Spell check. Who doesn't know? I mean, spell check. Well, here I talk of Grammarly. I always see advertise of that on YouTube. Well, Grammarly is a grammar checking software which is built on NLP. Another good example which I would like to say over here is the company called as Salesforce, right? We know Salesforce. Uh, so Salesforce actually implemented spell check in their contact forms using natural language processing. Okay, so another good example over here. Then next is question answering, another perfect example. Well, what is question answering? Let us think of designing a system that can automatically answer questions. So a system that can answer question. Well, I would all suggest you all to why not visit on Google for IBM Watson. It's a very famous and very powerful question answering system. For example, I mean, if you say anything that I'm working as an employer in Canada, do I need to carry a passport on paying UK national insurance? Well, it will ask you with the questions as well as outputs depending on whatever you ask it. Yes, yes, IBM Watson Assistant Shikhar, correct. So it is very powerful. Google Duplex, oh, I never heard of it. What is Google Duplex, Guru Raja? Can you help us out with more detail? Just in few words, it's a question answering system. I will certainly look at it immediately after the session. Okay, same answers for the question. Perfect, guys. Then let me write it over here as one of us suggested, Google Duplex. So that you can please search more on it. Very good. Now, next, sentiment analysis. Well, probably I think this is the last or second last application. What is sentiment analysis? Today we are actually going to spend a lot of time over here. Well, sentiment analysis means to extract the subjective information from the piece of the text. Example, whether an author is being subjective or objective, maybe whether the sentiment is positive or negative. That is exactly what is called a sentiment analysis. And after this, to last point, after which I'll be handing over the control to Vivek for a couple of minutes, because post that we are going to start with the session. Sad, bored, depressed. Shikhar, I would say that yes, that is again a good example over here. Sad, bored, depressed, but that is about image recognition because we are trying to capture the emotions over there. Sentiment analysis is about understanding the sentiment, whether it is a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment. Let's say, hey, this webinar is very interesting. So you understand over here that it's a positive sentiment. Some say that, hey, I see only the repetitive content still now. So that is kind of a neutral sentiment. If someone says that, I think it's becoming boring now, that is called as a negative sentiment. So that is exactly what I was talking of. Positive, negative, neutral. Okay, and what you actually talked of was the emotions. Perfect. Well, yes, Shivani actually said a very important point over here. I like to talk on that. Analyze the tone of the words. This is where NLP is still working on. There's a huge potential over here because today NLP models can understand English language, can understand French language, but it doesn't understand human emotions. Well, they don't understand sarcasm. If you say Amazon, Alexa, let's say, I'm fed up of you, it will answer in a normal tone. It will never understand what I'm trying to say. The sarcasm part it's going to be something which Alexa will never understand. So that is why a huge amount of work is going over here in understanding the tone in which a person is speaking, and accordingly the question should be answered. So this is where companies are heavily working on now in the area of NLP. Yes, as Shivani said, sentiment analysis can be used for analyzing the feedbacks, no doubt about that. It can be used. So the last topic, not the last topic, I think another 5 minutes, and that is where we end with this hands-on session with this PPT, and we move on to our hands-on. So challenges and scope. Well, first, nature of the human language is something which is a big challenge. Okay, because we understand that human language is ambiguous. I'll give you some examples very soon. Okay, they are going to be very interesting. Similarly, human language is unstructured. And lastly, it is tough to extract the meanings from the text. So when I say nature of human language, if I just try to elaborate this, we know that the rules which are going to dictate the passing of information using natural languages are not easy for computers to understand. It may be easy for humans. And as I told you, human languages are unstructured. As I told you, only 21% of the data in the world is structured, rest all is unstructured. So we have a lot of information in the world around us. Unfortunately, most of it is unstructured. And lastly, the process of reading and understanding English is a very complex procedure. Let us try to understand some of the examples where all these points will be clear to you perfectly. So first challenge is the semantic meaning. Well, I'll talk of this one by one. Okay, we will talk of each of this one by one. Then the next is entity extraction, then the anaphora resolution, then multiple intents and word sense disambiguation. These five are very important. So I need you to focus 100% because I'm going to ask you a few questions over here. So let us get started with the very first one, which we call as semantic meaning. Well, what is exactly semantic meaning? Well, semantic meaning means understanding a word with respect to its context. I say understanding a word with respect to its context. What do you mean by that? Well, what if I say I have these two sentences? There are too many good plans available on Vodafone Red. I want to purchase a red shirt from the Park Avenue. Well, which word is causing a change of context over here? Let me hear it from you. Which word is causing a change of context over here? Well, yes, I would say over here it's the red. There are many good plans available on Vodafone Red. So this is talking of the mobile phones SIM plans. I want to buy a red shirt. So this is talking of clothing. Well, you understand it. I understand it. But will a machine understand? Understanding a word with respect to a context. The context over here is for mobile phone SIM plans. Context over here is for clothing. Machine won't understand it. This is where the accuracy of the model drops. Getting this? What is the idea of semantic meaning? Clear to everyone? Please post yes or Y in the chat section. Y is also fine, but your interaction is very important. Cool. Thank you very much. Next is entity extraction. Well, entity extraction simply means that we want to extract the unknown entities. What do you mean by that? Well, just look over here. Look at this sentence. 5 molar solution of CaCl2 consists of blah 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 grams of CaCl2 dissolved in enough water to make 1 liter of solution. Well, you know, well, I don't know whether you know it or not. What is this? In case if you have studied, what is the CaCl2? Anyone remembers? Calcium chloride. Thank you very much for informing us. Well, how do you know it, by the way, guys? How do you know it's calcium chloride? I mean, how do you know? Oh, you studied chemistry. You mean to say you studied chemistry sometime back? Prior knowledge, you studied chemistry? Yes. But has the computer studied chemistry? Has the computer studied chemistry? No, right? That is exactly the problem which I was talking of, extracting the unknown entities. The machine doesn't know. Understanding an extraction of CaCl2 as an entity over here in this context is complex, right? I hope you get the meaning of entity extraction over here. Similarly, next is anaphora resolution. Anaphora resolution, well, it talks of absence of an important entity in the text conversation. What I mean by that? Well, let's again look at few examples. Rohan and Rehan are friends. He is living in Mumbai. Well, let me guess it from you people. Who is he? Rohan and Rehan are friends. He is living in Mumbai. Who? Oh, no, I didn't say Guru Raja. I never said they. I said he. Or rather than me saying, the sentence is saying he. Right? Can be both. Can be Rohan. Can be Rehan. Can be any one of them as well. You don't know. So precisely now you understand what is anaphora resolution. It's absence of an important entity in the text conversation. Yes, this is called as anaphora resolution. Similarly, the next, multiple intents. Well, what is multiple intents? I would say this is the place where a user is trying to speak many things in a single text. Okay. Example. Look at this. I say there are two sentences. My bank account is functional. Pretty much clear to understand. Then I say, please provide me the resolution process, and I want to buy a mobile phone from Amazon. Well, you understand over here that my bank account is functional. Please provide me a resolution process, where all of these are related to bank. And suddenly the sentence is not changing, but the context of the sentence is immediately getting changed over here. I want to buy mobile phone from Amazon. So you understand over here that in this single sentence, which is sentence number 2, we see that there are many things in a single text. This issue is called as multiple intent. So see, today you feel so happy looking at the result from Amazon, Alexa, or any other device. Well, try to understand that the developers have really worked hard on solving these issues. Okay, then one last thing then I'll be handing over the session to Vivek just for a couple of minutes, maybe around just a minute or two. So the next is word sense disambiguation. Well, this is the problem which is happening because of the actual context of the text. For example, I would say over here, word sense disambiguation is broadly classified into multiple types. Okay, the first one is we call as lexical ambiguity. What is lexical ambiguity? When more than one meaning of a word is found in a sentence. More than one meaning of a single word. For example, let's look over here. The fisherman went to the bank. What is the ambiguity? Which word is causing ambiguity? Bank. Why? What are the possibilities for bank? What are the possibilities for bank? I mean, the fisherman went to the bank. Correct. Either the money bank or a river bank. Correct. So, as Neil said, it's either a financial institution or it's a river bank. So you understand over here that there are more than one word of a meaning in the sentence, and these are very common with English language, but you never realize it because you have studied the language. My dear friends, the machine hasn't studied it. So I hope you realize now how the machine is going to try to understand this. Correct. Correct. So Viju, that's correct. So that was one thing. Then after that, the next, uh, the next is our syntactic or grammatical ambiguity. Okay, what is that? Well, this is where we have more than one meaning of a sentence. Sentence has more than one meaning. Try to understand this sentence. Visiting relatives can be boring. If you interpret this sentence, well, some students understand it very easily. Some students don't get this sentence. Visiting relatives, that is, if let's say assume my parents have a habit of going to relatives every Saturday, Sunday. Just for meetups, regular casual meetups. Hey, how are you? How are the things going on? So every Saturday, Sunday, it's like their time pass activity which they conduct. Every Saturday, Sunday, let's go to meet our cousin or let's go to meet our uh, any other relative, uncle, aunt, etc., etc., my stepbrother, etc., etc. So they have a habit. So you see over here that visiting the relatives' homes can be boring, or I can also understand it that if people are visiting my house every Saturday, Sunday, that can also be boring. That is, if I have visiting relatives who are coming to my home every day or every alternate day or once in a week, again that could be boring because I have to spend a lot of energy in their hospitality. So that is an issue. Right. So everyone got this point. Anyone over here who did not get this thing? Why is this called as more than one meaning of a sentence? Yes, I think everyone got it right. I see many of you have tried to answer them in their best possible explanations in the chats. Correct. And one last thing before I complete with the theoretical part and we move on to the hands-on. So that is reference of a pronoun. Well, this is called as referential ambiguity. For example, you read the sentence. The boy told the father about the theft. He was very upset. Again, the problem over here is the reference of the pronoun. Who is he over here? That is again a problem. That is what is called as referential ambiguity. Yes, but there is a small, a thin line of difference in between the two. Let us not get into that, but yes, it is very much similar to the Rohan and Rehan's example. So this is another example of referential ambiguity because it is specifically talking with respect to pronoun. So all of this comes under the word sense disambiguation. So that's where I complete with the theoretical part and I'll be moving on now with the hands-on session. But before that, I'm just going to hand over the session to Mr. Vivek for a couple of minutes and then we start. So Vivek, will you like to take the control?
Absolutely. Okay. Thank
Should I
you. Thank
stop
you,
my
Dr.
share,
Darshan.
Vivek?
Yes, please. I will. Yes, I will
Thank you. Thank
take
you.
the
Okay.
share screen as well. Thank you, Dr. Darshan. It was really, give me at least a nostalgia feeling of having attending the, in my school, high school, we had these English lectures, then we had these grammar lectures. How many of you had that nostalgic feeling as well? Just put Y in the chat if you guys had that feeling. Yeah, it happens actually, and I actually was also enjoying the reference which doctor was providing. Yes, Biju, back to basics basically. But the motive of here, doctor explaining each and everything right from the base was to ensure that you get into the groove of understanding the concept behind how we are going to train machines to understand human language, be it any language across the world. Machines are not aware of it, as doctor mentioned. So we are going to be learning something which is going to be really exciting and train these machines to actually understand our language. I am super excited. How many of you are excited actually? Just put Y if you guys are happy, or you want to go with it. Great, great. One one thing I actually wanted to put across, I just wanted to ask you guys, how many of you, I'm sure every one of you would be having Netflix or some of the other OTT platform, which you guys would be exploring on weekends, or maybe, end of the day, catch up with some of the other web series, uh, be it any latest web series. Have you guys ever noticed that Netflix also gives out little teasers of their upcoming events? Have you seen that? Just put a Y if you did. Yeah, great, great. Yes. So what we are doing here is basically we are just giving away a teaser of what's coming up in the upcoming sessions with Dr. Darshan. And there is another set of instructors who are actually also going to be a part of this live training which is coming up. So what we are currently doing is, yes, it's a 3 hour long teaser which never happens with even the big players like Netflix. But yes, it's a session which actually gives you an understanding or maybe a taste of what's coming up for you guys in the next session, which is going to be an in-depth session. It's going to be a very exciting session, not just with Dr. Darshan, but there are other global instructors which are actually contributing with their time and experience and expertise to guide you. One more thing which I just wanted to ask you: how many of you are, um, let me put it this way, how many of you are worried about their careers or confused about their jobs, especially with regards to the learning which you're having? Just put me, or yeah. So yeah, so most of us are, and that's nothing wrong behind it. Let me put it this way, that you're not wrong. It's just a human tendency. So you don't have to be shying away or feel embarrassed that you are confused or you're not sure about the career aspects. See, if these courses or these activities or these sessions are actually going to give you a clear understanding of what lies ahead of these careers in machine learning and to build algorithms. These expert instructors, just like Dr. Darshan Ingle, are our mentors, are have been experienced enough, have been mentoring people, guiding people with regards to their careers as well, with regards to how to go about getting placed in a good job or with a good salary. So this is coming up during the session. I will touch base in a bit. I will not keep you guys prolonged. I'm sure all of us are just keen to take this ahead, or rather just as interesting juncture, that I will not kill the interest at the moment. So uh, I'm sure, Dr. Darshan, are you back? You just wanted to have a sip of water.
Yes, yes, I'm here only.
Okay, great. So, without taking much time, I'll just hand it back over to you, and I'll stop screen share. Guys, as I mentioned, just so for the benefit of people who have joined a little late, at the start I had mentioned something like the announcement about some goodies and free giveaways. Let me just show you that today we are actually giving away a premium course, which will be all given to all the participants during the session. There is another e-degree which is worth $48, which we are giving out, as well as we are also giving out, we are running a bumper draw during the session. So stay tuned you may be the lucky one. If you're feeling lucky, I am sure you just want to stay back and enjoy the knowledge shared by such a beautiful personality, Dr. Darshan. So, Dr. Darshan, over to you. I'm going back on mute and enjoying your session. Thank you. You're really actually helping me, like a non-technical person, to understand quite a lot of things. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so resuming back with the session, let me just create a new file for you. What is the date today? 17th February. Perfect. Anything in the chat? Okay. Guys, you need not code it along with me because it's going to take time for me. We require this 1 hour. So stay along with me. Make sure you are not trying to code along with me because it will not help you. Because I am very much of the opinion that under any circumstance, if you are coding it along with me, it never helps, because what will only improve on that part is your typing speed. But the moment I teach a complicated concept, you will be just knocked out from the session, or you will be disconnected from the topic. So I would suggest focus more on understanding. Anyways, the recording of this is going to be made available to all of you, as well as the material, and the PPT will also be shared with you as well. So there's absolutely no need to try to code along with me. Try to do all those things later on. Okay, it's going to be worth it. Perfect. So going ahead, I will take it over here. And okay, before I go ahead, let me do the necessary imports. Well. Okay, let me first of all, I mean, it's my moral duty to ask you all, how many of you are unaware of the programming language Python? Just if you belong to that category, please type yes in the chat section. Okay. So, okay, there are many people over here who are unaware of the language called as Python. Okay, that was one question. Okay, don't post N. I don't want that. I only want the yeses. Okay, I'm just trying to understand who is the non-coder over here. Okay, now fine. This question is addressed. Next, how many of you are not aware of machine learning? If you are not aware of machine learning, please type yes in the chat section. Okay, fine. Now, how many of you are, wait a minute, don't type in the chat section, please wait. How many of you are aware of machine learning? If you are aware, please type A in the chat section. Aware of machine learning. Okay, let me also get to know. I'm just trying to understand the dynamics of the back. Okay, so what I see over here is, I mean, from my understanding, I see there are 75 learners, and I kind of see over here there's a 50-50 balance. Okay, I see 75 learners are there, and it's exactly 50-50 balance. So, well, let me give you some wise words before I start. Those who belong to the non-coding background, I mean literally non-coding, where I assume that you don't know Python and you don't know machine learning. Okay, if you don't know this language, well, I would suggest you all to focus on the concepts and the outputs that are going to come. Okay, focus on the concepts, because we are going to discuss the concepts of natural language processing and the outputs that are going to come. and that should be more than sufficient for you. You don't try to think how is this code coming. And those who are new to the those who know Python but don't know machine learning, well, I would say that it's going to be kind of not that difficult for you. You can try to understand code. Well, it is going to be manageable for you guys. So that's how I would say that you can go ahead. I'll be explaining you each and every line. So let's see how do I go about it. Some things I'm purposely going to leave it for you as well. So let me do some necessary imports. What do I mean by necessary imports is just like if I say before I want to, let's say if I want to go out via my car, I can't straight away get into the building's lift and get down to my car. I need a key. If I forget that, I will have to come back. Similarly, when you are doing any coding assignment, there are some libraries that we require. So I'm just importing those. Importing is nothing but I'm going to say that, hey, I may require these libraries, therefore I'm calling them. So I say, okay, one of the library which we require is NumPy. So import NumPy as NP. Means one thing is done. Then next library which I require is pandas as PD. Well, that means that every time from now, I'm not going to call NumPy, I'm going to call it by its pet name called as NP. Similarly for pandas, I'm going to call it by its pet name called as PD. Perfect. And apart from that, I'm also going to, sometimes due to the version mismatch of the Jupyter, sometimes there are some warnings which are being raised. They are not errors, they are warnings. Okay. So I say that I don't want the warnings to actually intimidate me. So I say warnings dot filter warnings and ignore. Pretty standard steps. Okay, nothing new. You start any NLP or machine learning projects, you cannot proceed without writing these import statements. As simple as that. Okay, so that's important. Now I need to read my data set. Well, let me show you the data set over here. Where is my mouse? Yes. If you look over here, this is the data set that we have. Restaurant reviews dot TSV. Well, TSV is nothing but the tab separated value file. If I open it for you, why is it called as tab separated value? Because you see that between these there is a tab, distance of a tab, distance of a tab, distance of a tab. So there are two columns, one is review and one is liked. So this is how it looks like. Wow, love this place. Crust is not good, not tasty. The texture was just nasty. So on and so forth. So I want to read this file in the Jupyter notebook. And for reading that, there is a function. The name of the function is read CSV. And this function is available with pandas. So I say, hey, I want to use the pandas read CSV function. And what is the name of the file? I'm going to pass it over here. So that is restaurant reviews.tsv. Well, this function CSV is used for reading the comma separated value file, CSV file. This is not a CSV file, it is a TSV file. So how to read that? Well, it has a parameter which is called as delimiter. I say my delimiter over here is going to be a tab. That's how you say \T. Delimiter is going to be a tab. And I'm going to write quoting is equal to 3. Well, this is because I do not want, I repeat, this is because I do not want the quotes in my sentiment. Let's say if there are some things which are written in quotes, okay, something in case if there are any comments which are actually written in double quotes, single quotes, I don't want it to be there. I want you to drop off all those things. So for that, I say quoting is equal to 3. That is, it is going to ignore the double quotes. Quoting can take the value 0, 1, 2, or 3. I have given the value as 3 because I want to ignore the double quotes, and for ignoring that, I write quoting is equal to 3. Pretty standard way, I would say. I'm going to read this in variable which is called as data set. Well, data set is called as a data frame also. Right? Now, if I want to see it, I can write data set and just execute it. For executing, I am pressing control enter on my system or shift enter is also going to do. Well, you see over here, that's the same file you see, review and liked column, and it has come wow blood displays liked. Okay, so that's how it is. So okay, Smriti is asking, can you explain this quoting again? Smriti, let's say inside this, there is some word which is highlighted. I don't want it to be read with this double quotes. So I don't want it. In fact, I want this word not to be read like this, but ideally it should be wow dot 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 loved this place. This is what I want it to be read at. Getting it, Smriti? Yes. If anything is written by the user in double quotes, I don't want this double quotes to be read. Simple. Second, perfect. Second question is Sindhu. Can we get the TSV file? Yes, of course. We told it at the start also. We told it in between also. We are going to share with you the PPTs. We are going to share with you the data set, which is nothing but in our case the TSV file, as well as we are going to share with you this Jupyter notebook which I'm solving on currently, but not right now, after the webinar. Okay, Sindhu. So now over here, perfect. So this is the data set. Well, this says that there are 1,000 rows and 2 columns. That's fine. And there are total 5 rows and 5 columns. This is what I see over here. Unfortunately, well, I don't agree to the fact that there are just 5 rows. If you just print data set, it is going to print the first 5 and the last 5 rows with dot 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 in between. Instead of that, it is advisable to either print data set dot head, which is only going to print the first 5 rows. Why to look at everything? It doesn't make sense, right? Okay, this is the appropriate size. So now it doesn't make sense to look at everything. Obviously, it's there. See how many values are actually there. We use the shape attribute, and this says that hey, in your data set there are 1,000 such rows, of which I have displayed 5, but there are 1,000 such rows and there are 2 columns over here. Perfect. Now if I say dataset dot info, as the name suggests, info is going to give you the information of the columns. So it says over here that in your data set there are total 1,000 records which are running from 0 to 999, and you clearly see that the first record is the review column. The first column is the review column, which has 1,000 values which are non-null, so none of them is empty. And light column also 1,000 values which are non-null, which is an integer data type, that is numbers. This is the memory which it is using. Now let us try to understand the data as well. So in this data, as you can see, it is precisely saying review. Okay, wow, love this place. So you can see it's kind of a good thing. Okay, the restaurant's review is positive, so you have 1. That is, 1 means positive. Crust is not good, negative review. Not nasty and the not tasty, and the texture was just nasty, bad review, right? Negative. Stopped by during the late May bank or blah blah blah, not there. Okay, dot 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 dot, but they have classified it as positive. Similarly, the selection of the menu was great, and so were classified it as positive. So you understand what is our data. Now, having understood that, I will also like to see how many positive reviews are there and how many negative are there. So how many times 1 is there in this and how many times 0 is there. So I say over here, I'm going to straight away use the function liked dot value counts. Value counts is going to give me exactly the same thing which I just told you. So it says that number 1 in the liked column is coming 500 number of times and number 0 is coming 500 number of times. That is, this particular data set has 500 positive reviews and 500 negative reviews. Okay, we also know that there are 1,000 values over here and 1,000 over here, but still if you want to check it, is there anything null, then you can check it using this function dataset dot is NA dot sum. This is saying that, hey, in your reviews column, none of the value is NA, that is not there. And in your liked column as well, it's the same thing. So that's a good thing. So now once again, if I just show you the data set, I say, hey, show me the data set head. And I would like to tell you what is the problem. Okay, those who are new to natural language processing, let me tell you. Well, friends, if you observe these reviews, all these reviews are written in natural language, right? We all agree that they are written in natural language, and in this case the natural language is English. Well, for us it's easy to understand, but machine doesn't know English. I told you earlier as well. So what does machine actually expect? Machine says, I don't understand English, please tell me, and I'm neither going to learn English for you. Okay, just because you want me to understand, I'm not going to learn English. Give me the input in the way which I understand. So okay, so I have no option other than going down to the machine, and I say, okay machine, tell me what is the language that you understand. Machine says, I only understand numbers. I only understand numbers. Somehow convert your English into equivalent numbers, and then I can think of helping you out. Somehow convert your English language into equivalent numbers. So you know what is my understanding over here? I need to convert this entire thing. I need to convert this entire thing into numbers. So I want to convert this English language into numbers. How to do that? Well, what am I going to do is, let us keep it very simple. Let's not think of converting this entire thing. How many values? Not only just 5. I hope you remember this goes up to from 0 to 999. I want to convert every sentence over here into numbers. But keep it very simple. What I'll do is, I'll just take a single sentence. Just take a single sentence and show you how can this English language, okay, this sentence which is there in the English language, be converted into some numbers. Okay, and once you understand that, then we will generalize the operation to all of the 1,000 rows. Okay, are you getting the approach? Initially we are going to try to work only on a single sentence. Because of that, you know what, you will be finding it very simple, and then I'll try to generalize it on all the 1,000 rows. Are you getting the approach that we are going to follow? Yes guys, is this approach clear? So I'm going to keep it very simple for you, because I understand all of you are new to this area. Okay, so perfect. And yes, Gerard, you had a question. What is this is NA sum doing? Well, let me tell you that please ask the questions on time, not after I leave the concept, because what happens is the other learners will be disconnected with the topic. If you didn't get it, immediately ask it in the chat section so that I can think of addressing that. If we ask it after a minute, then we are already into a new concept. That becomes very difficult for everyone to come back. Well, dataset.isNA is just going to look, let's say if you have a data set, this is name, and let's say this is the gender, Gerard. So let's say there are few names A, B, uh, D, F, and gender is there: male, male, female, male, male. So what do you see over here? Well, you see over here that this value is missing. Okay, and if I say that, hey, this is my data set, and if I fire the same function, it is going to give me over here, instead of review, the first column name will say that 1, and the second column gender will give the answer as 0, because in gender column none of the values are missing. It is having 1 2 3 4 5 values, but over here it is having 1 2 3 and 4 values. 1 is missing. So the number of the missing values count in each of the column would be there. Getting it, Gerard? Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now, as I told you, we are going to work on just one of the reviews, right? So I say, I don't want the entire data set. So I'm planning to work on, if I want to extract only reviews column, well, this is how I can extract only the reviews column. But I want to work only on sentence number 0 in the reviews column. I don't want to work on all of these 999, starting from 0 to 999, that is 1000 sentences. So I say of 0. Okay, we say this thing of 0. Yes. So as I promised you, we are going to work on a single sentence, and for that, I'm going to use this particular code. So 0th index. So let's think of converting this to numbers. If we are done, then at the end, it's just about generalizing it. So now we are trying to make a machine understand. You know what? The first important thing that we have to do over here is machine says that what is this stupid information dot dot dot. We human beings say that, hey, this is just for emphasis. Well, but is it a valid English language? I mean, do you write dot dot dot, or in any, say, if you write hashtag followed by India, or at the rate if you write Modi, or at the rate you write Indian cricket team? Well, all of these things are the fancy way of writing English in 2021 era. But these are not standard way of writing English language. You open any English book, they will never say that this is the right way of writing it grammatically. But yes, our tweets, our reviews can contain all of this thing. In fact, we also have a habit of writing wow dot 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 dot, right? More than 2 3 dots. Well, these all things are not the right way, but we have a habit, and we don't say that, hey, this is wrong. We just understand that there are some emotions attached with it, and therefore emphasis is given over here just to make it sound more plausible to everyone, saying that, hey, this is where the reviewer wants to give more emphasis on. But machine doesn't understand emotions, machine doesn't understand sarcasm. So machine says, please remove all this stupid stuff, remove all the garbage. How to remove that? Well, for removing this thing in this sentence, what is the stupid thing? Well, if you talk of this entire sentence right from here till uh, here, well, these 3 dots are something which I need to remove. Then this single dot is also something which I need to remove. This hashtag is something I need to remove. This at the rate I need to remove. This at the rate I need to remove. So all these things are useless. So I say over here, hey, I want to actually do that. So how to do that? Well, I say for that I'm going to use regular expression. So I'm going to import the regular expression module, which is called as RE, and I say I am going to say re.substitute. SUB stands for substitute. Substitute says, the first thing that it says is what is to be substituted. Second thing asks what did Vivek say? Shubhangi from YouTube. So human essence one computer has not assigned. Shubhangi from YouTube. Okay. So human assigns a 1 or 0, computer hasn't assigned the numbers. No. So substitute function says over here what is to be substituted. Oh, sorry. Where to substitute. I would say where to substitute and with what. And let's say in which. Let me explain you. Okay, this is just in English language. First of all, I want to work on this thing, right? I want to work on this sentence. So I say this is where I want to work on. Okay. In this sentence, which is nothing but this, what do I want to do? Well, I want to make sure that everywhere I see, let me explain you, uh, small a to small z, capital A to capital Z, to be substituted with, okay. Let's try to understand what I have written over here. Well, I say in this particular sentence, whichever we have taken over here, everywhere you see, whenever you write in square brackets, everywhere you see alphabets which are ranging from A to Z or capital A to capital Z. So wherever you see characters, please substitute it by space. Wherever you see characters, please substitute it by a space. So that means all of these characters would be substituted by space. We don't want that. So I have written a small thing. Please notice over here the cat symbol. If you write it like this, it means that wherever you see anything other than characters, anything other than characters, what characters? If you see anything which is other than capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, I want you to make sure that it has to be substituted by a space. So what is going to happen over here is wherever you see this, I want it to be substituted. So how does the things happen over here? Let us check it. And we are going to, let's say, store this. Let me store it, my review in the review. And let's say, let me print it. What did I make a mistake over here? I think I forgot. It has to be in single quotes. I just missed out writing on that part. Perfect. Now what happened? Acha, additional. Yes. So you see over here, wow, love this place actually got converted over here. Let me show you a few more examples. Okay, I'll do one thing. Control C. Let instead of that, let us take some other sentence. Okay, I'll just remove this and let's say Darshan Ingle is the trainer. Uh, Hashtag trainer with hashtag Eduonix, and let me tag over here. Uh, Let this be at the rate Darshan Ingle is the trainer with Eduonix. Enjoy NLP webinar. Okay, as simple as that. Small sentence. Full stop. I hope it's amazing. And let's say a few dots. So you understand over here what is the sentence. And when I say substitute it, see now what happened. At the rate is removed. You see hashtag got removed. Hashtag got removed. All these dots got removed. Amazing is ended by this. So everywhere you see anything other than characters, we are going to substitute this. I hope that makes sense to all of you. Is that clear? Till this point, is this RE part clear? Perfect. Well, let me tell you, regular expression in itself is altogether a chapter in book which can be studied for as long as 200 to 250 pages. It's that big thing. It is just a part of which I tried to explain you over here because it is more than sufficient for us in this project. Now, after understanding this, the second thing is machine says that you may be understanding this capital W, capital L, but I don't understand it. In fact, machine says that, hey Darshan, if you say wow, if you say wow, if you say wow, if you say wow, well, all of these are four different words for me. Similarly, loved or loved or loved or loved, all of these words are different for me. Machine says I don't understand the capital and the small stuff. Please keep me away from it. So how to keep it away? I'm going to convert everything to lowercase. So I say my review is going to be is equal to review dot lower, and Let me print it. Wow, love this place. So this is something which is very important for us to do it. Now, after this, there are some words in English language which are not important. These are called as the stop words. And I am going to remove the stop words. Well, if you, okay, let me ask you a very simple question. If you read anything in English language, okay, if you read any paragraph, let's say you pick up a random article, let's say, if I say, I'm going to take up a article, let's say India, or let us take natural language processing, and I'm opening the wiki page. I don't want you to read each and everything, but if I say that, okay, if you are reading from here to here, well, what do you think is the most commonly occurring word in this highlighted paragraph? Tentatively, which all are the things which is most commonly coming? Correct. And the. So do you mean to say the prepositions are the most important stuff in this paragraph? Do we mean to conclude that the prepositions, articles, interjections which are coming the most frequently are the most important? Obviously not. They are just required for human beings like us to understand the things, but for a machine, they are not important. What is important over here is natural language processing, linguistic, computer science, artificial intelligence. All of these are important. The other things which are actually getting repeated the most often, we don't want them to disrupt the flow. Therefore, what do we do over here is we simply try to remove these words. So you may say that, sir, then the grammatical meaning of the sentence will get changed. Oh, yes, of course it will get changed, but the machine anyways doesn't understand grammar. I hope you remember this. Machine has not gone through Ren and Martin. It doesn't understand that. So anyways, we don't care of that, right? So I say I want to remove the stop words. So how to remove that? Well, you need to import a library which is called as NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. Okay. Then you need to write NLTK dot download. You need to download all the stop words over here, and for that you need to write import this. Now I'm going to comment this because it is not required. I have already downloaded that. So in case if you are executing it for the very first time, you may need to execute this line. I have commented that. Then after that, I'm going to say that I want to use the stop words. So I say from NLTK dot, and it's going to come corpus import stop words. Perfect. So after this, okay, before importing the stop words, let us do one thing which I will like to do over here. Actually, I forgot. This thing, okay, this thing is actually coming as a single sentence. I'm going to split it into different parts, and this process is going to be called as tokenization. So how many words are there over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are some unnecessary spaces here and here, unnecessary spaces. I don't want that. I want it to be separated into 4 parts: part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And for this, I'm going to go for tokenization, and I say over here my review. How to do that? Just use the split function, store it back in review, and we say review. So yes, so I have splitted that up. Perfect. Now, yes, who asked this question? Sagar, listen to each and every word. I already did talk of the full form of this. It is Natural Language Toolkit. Okay. Now, okay. Uh, we have this review. We have accepted that. We have converted it into tokens of 4 words: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, no, it will not consider the space. And split actually by default splits on the space. The moment you get a space, it splits up. However, you can also give some other character for it for splitting, but it's not considered that. Okay, it is just splitting out on the basis of space over here, Biju. Clear to you? However, you can also always say that, hey, I want to split it on the basis of a character A, or I want to split it on comma, or I want to split it on semicolon. That can be given. Okay, this function is very powerful. But by default, it splits on space. Okay, now from this, okay, now guys, you tell me from this particular tokenized, which is the stop word? Any guesses? You may go wrong, but any guesses which could be the stop word over here? Yes, I was expecting one wrong reply at least. Wow is not a stop word. This is a stop word. And obviously, I should not say that you are going wrong over here because I never showed you stop words. I'll show you stop words over here as well. So let's say if I want to, I told you, right, there are a lot of stop words inside this stop words. So if I want to see the stop words, well, I just need to say stop words dot words in English. Well, these all are the stop words in English language. You need not memorize that, by the way. I, me, myself, we, our, ourself, you are, so on and so forth. Similarly, let us see what all are the different other languages which are actually supported over here. So French, yes, they are available. uh, German, yes, they are available. Then Chinese, not available, right? Then if we say any other thing, let's say regional language like Hindi, not available. So you understand over here that yes, stop words are very important. Now for removing the stop words, I'm going to use the fundamental idea of list comprehension. Those who know Python will understand it. Those who don't know Python, just try to understand the concept of list comprehension. Okay, so the main idea over here is I want to remove the stop words. So I have it over here. I want to remove the stop word, and this is the stop word. So I'm going to say that, hey, look into this particular list of stop words, and wherever you find that, make sure you don't consider it in the list. So for that, I say uh, but with, for instance, I'm against it. Against is a, okay, against is a stop word, but why I know stop word, but I know is not perfect. Yes. So obviously, I totally understand. You see against over here as a stop word. Just let me check. Is there against over here? You saw it? Yes, Leo. You saw against over here? Yes, sir. Somewhere over here, right? Perfect. Yes, 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 yes. Between is again the stop word. Against is also a stop word. Yes, correctly agreed. I totally agree with you too. This is also a stop word. Well, see, understand over here, Leo. I will just like to get into the details of it, though I never get it, but I'll just like to get into the details. Now, this is the set of stop words which you can see is coming in the form of a list, right? And if I just say how many stop words are there over here, Leo, so not here. Let's take a this coming down. Uh, if I want to see the length of the stop words over here, well, there are 179. Now, Leo, these are 179 words which are there in the form of the list. Okay, we understand that. Now, let us say if you think that against is not the right word in my particular problem statement, then you can actually consider dropping these words. Let me explain you, Leo, who has made these stop words. Have I made it? No. Has Leo made it? No. But someone has made this thing after a lot of researcher. Let us call him as researcher. After a lot of research, someone has made it and he has come to a conclusion that yes, against can be included in the set of stop words. But yes, obviously there could be certain rare scenarios where, as you said, against could be an issue. So if you think that, hey, in my data set, I want the word against, I can't think of removing it. Well, you can always consider formulating your own list by dropping off the words which you don't want. That is again one of the challenges in natural language processing, because this exactly this what you just talk of is called as one of the hyper parameter, wherein you can choose among this. If you're not satisfied with whatever are words over here, you can actually create your own repository of stop words. You can add few words over here, you can think of removing some words over here, or you can also think of amending some words over here. You always have that flexibility. Okay, but these are the more general words which are very popularly found in the English language and turns out to be good, but not necessarily everything would be useful in all the cases. And therefore all of these steps actually require a very what do you call, a very good amount of perseverance and a clear understanding, and then only you go ahead. Okay, so that's how it is. Yes, it's open source. Perfect. Perfect. So we need to find the one that actually suits our purpose or accordingly append it or add it. Okay, so how to do that? Well, I say let me store the answer this time in some other variable review one, and I'm going to use the list comprehension. So I say over here that I'm going to do some operation over here. Let me call as that operation as val. And I say over here for word in review, if that particular word is not there in the stopwords dot words of English language, then only you consider that word, else don't consider that word. So I say, let me print my review one and show it to you, and let me help you understand what it happens. So what do I see over here is I say that this is list comprehension. Whenever it's list comprehension, you have to always ignore the first thing and start reading from here. So for word in review, when I say for word in review, it is going to consider the first word immediately. So first word would be considered, and then it will check, is that particular word not in the set of stop words of English language? Is wow not in the set of stop words? Well, wow is not there in the set of stop words. So please include this word in the dictionary. So it's included. Then after that, this for loop automatically goes ahead to the second word. Okay, second word love is being selected. Then it will say, hey, is love in the set of stop words? No, it's not there. Please include it. Included automatically goes ahead. It will check, this is this not in the set of stop words? It's there in the set of stop words. So please don't include it this time. So it's not included. Then it moves ahead. Place, is place in the set of stop words? No, it's not there. It's not there. So please include it, and it's included. In this way, all the stop words are going to be dropped off. As simple as that. Makes sense to everyone? Clear? Those who are new to Python, well, don't focus on the code, focus on the concept that yes, the stop words are removed. Cool. Very good. Now, after removing the stop words, the next step that we are going to do is called as stemming. Now, stemming is another very important thing. Well, you know what? For a computer, this computer is actually a dumb box. It doesn't understand anything. We need to explain him each and everything. For a computer, the word loved, the word love, the word loving, the word lovable, or the word which is called as, anything which belongs to this. Well, we all know that these words are more or less the same thing, but the computer will say each and everything is altogether different. There is no correlation between this and this. There is absolute no correlation. However, we understand that it's precisely talking of affection, in short, love. So we don't want the computer to misinterpret the things. And anyways, all of these things are grammar, right? Ultimately, what is the root form of the word? What is the root form of this word? What is the root form? What is the most basic word over here which we are talking of? Love, right? It's love. So computer says that, why do you want to take me into this grammatical things and all? This is what I understand. Make it. So this is again what I want. So this process of getting the word in the root form is called as stemming. So now let me give you a few examples of stemming. So if you have a word like playing, the word becomes play. If you have a word like running, the word becomes run. This process is called as stemming. So what does stemming do? Stemming actually extracts the root form of the word. Okay, don't try to make your own assumptions over here, just understand what am I saying. Stemming tries to get the root form of the word. In fact, I'll give you a very good example. If you give something like leaves, stemming will say over here it's leave. Yes, I'm not kidding it, that's the fact. I will not show it to you today, but you can try it out, okay, later on. So stemming is about extracting the root form of the word. So what is a better technique? Well, a better technique over here, which has evolved over time, is called as lemmatization. Well, lemmatization also says the same thing. I'm going to extract the root, but with respect to its lemma. Lemma means meaning. So in lemmatization, playing will become play only, running will become run only, and leaves will make sure it is converted to leaf. It will never happen in stemming, right? This is a word which doesn't even exist in English dictionary, but leaves is converted into leaf. How cool is that? So lemmatization is something which is considered as a good technique, but still, I mean, the code for lemmatization can be tricky at times. It's not that difficult, but today I'm going to talk of stemming only. Okay, because I don't want to unnecessarily take you into the complications of lemmatization later on. So let's talk of the things related to stemming only over here. So I'm going to use stemming. So I may not get as good results as my lemmatization, but certainly they are not that bad either. So if I say let's go for lemmatization, where is this available? Oh, sorry, if I go for stemming, where is this available? Well, it's available inside NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. Inside that, there is a sub-module which is called a STEM. Inside that, there is further sub-module which is called as Porter. From that, I'm going to import the class which is called as Porter Stemmer. We are going to create an object of it because we want to use that. So you create an object of this particular class and then you go for your analysis. So I say, again using list comprehension, there is going to be some val over here, and I say for each of the word in the view one, what do we want? Well, I want you to consider the stemmed form of each and every word, and then let me print that. So I'll repeat this once again for you. We call this particular class, then we create the object of this class over here. Now all the functions of this particular class can be accessed using ps dot. So ps dot, so I say for every word in review. So what happened over here is for word in review, that means it is going to come over here. Wow. Okay, okay, word is considered. There is no if condition over here. So for word in review one, so for this particular word, it says that once you have considered the word, store it in the stemmed form of that particular word. So stemmed form of wow is actually wow only. Done. Go ahead to the next word. I come over here. Loved, you received loved. What is the stem form of loved? Love, store it. Go ahead. Place. What is the stemmed form of place? Place. Done and stop. Okay. Is that thing clear to all of you? Do you understand the procedure of stemming? It's working good over here. Perfect. So getting the word into the root form is called as stemming. After that, let us consider now. See, now our sentence is actually processed. Okay, we are almost at the. We are still. I mean, we have still not developed a natural language processing model. We are still only in the text pre-processing stage. Okay. Okay, Vinith, what we are doing is we are just converting everything to the stemmed from. So when I say for word in reviews, it is going to consider the very first word, wow, and it will say that, okay, I have considered the word. Now convert it to the stemmed form of that particular word. What is the stemmed form of wow? It's wow only. Having done that, move ahead to the next word. So for loved in review, consider the loved stem form. What is the stemmed form of loved? Love. Then go ahead to the next word. What is the stemmed form of place? Place. Done. Then go ahead to the next word. What is the stemmed form of love? Love. Then go ahead to the next word. What is the stemmed form of love?
Hi everyone. Don't worry. I think even I'm unable to
Hello.
hear Dr.
Hi.
Darshan.
Am I
Yes, yes,
audible?
Darshan. Yeah, it's kind of
Hello.
breaking up.
Hey, it is a very hard luck. It is a very hard luck, Vivek. You know, light went off in Mumbai. I just can't believe it.
Oh my God.
I am now
Okay.
connected via my 4G.
Oh,
It
okay.
never happens in Mumbai.
I can relate to
But
that
anyways,
as
I
well.
am connected via my 4G. Huh.
Okay, great, great, great.
And very bad. So is my voice breaking right now?
No, no, it's audible, very clear now.
Okay,
We can resume. Yeah.
Vivek, I have a request for you. Please stay very much alert over here. The moment you find it's breaking, now just intimate me instantly. Okay.
I will, I will, I will. I apologize. I will interrupt you in case you're not
Yes,
audible
yes,
or not
yes.
clear. Yeah.
Anytime you feel it fluctuating, so that we don't
Yeah.
lose on the contents.
Yes. Sure.
Perfect,
Sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think the light should come back in a couple of minutes. It never goes off. You to know it very well. In Mumbai, it never.
Yes. Yes. It never goes off. So I'm surprised as well. So yeah. So let's continue. I'll go on mute.
Perfect, perfect.
Sure. Yeah.
So going ahead, we were in our stemming part. So yes, is that clear to you now? The one who asked the question, stemming is clear. Who asked it, by the way? It's fine. Yes, is that clear? I think that's perfect. Yes, Vinith. Okay. Now after this, we are going to see. We know that this is a single review, right? And we have actually tokenized it into three different parts. So I'm going to join this. How? Well, let me store it as our review 2, where we say I want to join it. So on what basis do I want to join it? Please join it with a space. So I say join review 1. So uh, review 1, and I'll explain you. Just hold on, guys. Right. So this join is a very generic function in Python where I say that, hey, I want to join this, and this with the help of a space. So you can see wow, love, and place have been stitched together with a space in between. If I say that I want to join it with some other thing, it can be done as well. I'm not storing it somewhere, but I'll just show you the operation. Well, if I say, hey, I want to join these all things, let's say uh, with star star. See over here, joining it with this, as simple as that. Okay. Is this operation of joining clear to you? What did we do in cell number 29 and 30, guys? Perfect. So splitting was done before the stemming. Yes, yes, yes. It was done before the stemming process. Okay, so splitting was done to do the process of stemming. Not only the stemming, but for all other things as well. Whatever we did till now, that was the requirement for splitting. Okay, now let us go ahead. Now, finally, well, we are going to start with developing a NLP model over here. And well, this model is called as the bag of words model. Let me tell you that it is not a world class model, but still a good model to start with, considering our basic session. Okay, so I'm telling you all the facts right at the start. It's not a world class model, it's just one of the good models where we can consider it to be, starting with these all things. Perfect. So now, how to go ahead? Well, let me first of all explain you what is the thing that we are going to do. Well, I'm going to talk of few of the sentences. Okay, everyone please pay attention. This is one of the most crucial part. So I'm going to say over here, let's say if I have some sentences like that. Okay, I have a sentence. Let's say this is my sentence number 0. Wow, love, place. Let's say there is one more sentence. It says wow, love, wow. And let's say if I have wow, like, place. Now, the technique that we are going to use is bag of words model, and it uses a class which is called as count vectorizer. Count vectorizer implements both tokenization and occurrence of countings in a single class. Let me explain you. Now,
Sorry, doctor, I
what are we
think
going to do
it's
over
kind of
here?
breaking again. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Now, has it stabilized? Maybe fluctuations. It's breaking or it has stabilized, Vivek?
Yes, yes, it's better. For just a few seconds, it was kind of cracking up. So maybe, yeah, we can just continue. I'll interrupt in
Yeah.
case we find more disruptions.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So now we are going to count the words. Well, what are the unique words over here? Well, if I say what all are the unique words, then the first unique word which I see is wow. Then next is love. Then next is place. Then wow, love, wow is repeated. Wow is already covered. Like is a new word. And place is also repeated. So these are the 4 unique words. Then it is going to keep a track of how many times did wow come in overall in these 3 sentences. Wow did come 1 2 3 4, 4 number of times. Okay, how many times did love come? So wow come 1 2 3 4. Let's underline that. Love come twice, so I say twice. How many times did place come? Place also came twice. So what am I going to do is, let's say I'm going to add the word place, let's say thrice. Okay, just, I mean, I'm just doing it purposely. So let's say place has come thrice, 1 2 and 3. And how many times the word like has come? Once. This is very important. I repeat, I did find out the unique words in this, and after finding the unique words, I am just trying to figure out over here what is the count of each of this in the entire corpus that we have. This is what we call as corpus, the set of all the sentences together. So over here, now we understand that, okay, this is the order of this. We are going to sort it in descending order now. So which is the highest ordering occurring word? Wow. So let us write wow first. Next we have, the next is place. So let's write place. The next one that we have is love. And the last one that we have is like. And if you remember, we have these 3 sentences, right? If I write it once again, we have this sentence number 0, sentence number 1, and sentence number 2. Let's try to encode it now. How many times is wow occurring over here? Wow is occurring just once, right? One. How many times is place occurring over here? Twice, right? Twice. How many times is love occurring? Once, right? Once. How many times is like occurring in this sentence? Zero, zero. In sentence number 1, how many times is wow coming? One, two times. How many times is love coming? One time. Place and like are not coming over here, so 0 and 0. Similarly, how many times is the word wow coming over here? Once. How many times is the word place coming over here? Once. How many times is the word like coming over here? Once. Rest all 0. Well, I would say the problem is sorted. You know what? Well, the very first sentence which we had over here, wow, love, place, wow, this is now actually converted into a number representation 1210. Second sentence, wow, love, place, is converted into a numerical representation 2010. 2010. Third sentence which we have, wow, like, place, is converted into 110. One. So each of this sentence is converted into its representation. Friends, this was our only agenda, right? We were actually striving for this only. If you remember at the very start, I said that, hey, I want to convert everything into numbers, right? I wanted to convert everything into numbers, and I have done that. Are you able to follow this technique? We showed it on 3 sentences. In the same way, we can do it for 3000 sentences also. This is called as the count vectorizer approach, bag of words model. Before I proceed, I need a confirmation. Any one of you who has not understood it, why like is included? So why like is included in this, sir? I'm just assuming, okay, if these are the sentences, it can be anything, right? I have just taken, don't correlate this with any of the thing which is going on in the project right now, Sagar. Consider it altogether separate. Let's say these are the 3 sentences which we have. Okay. So that's why I considered it. Perfect. So everyone understood that. Now, once I remove this, please take a screenshot of this. This will be very useful for you. So that later on when you study, you understand what is this. Okay. Sir, with this method, the number of the root words gives us the number of features. The number of root words gives us the number of features. Yes, correct. In fact, if you do not do this, if you do not do stemming, then you understand that love, loved, loving, everything will be coming as different columns. We don't want that, right? Oh my God, Abila. Forgive me if I pronounce it in the wrong way. Well, if you look over here, it is not a world-class model. I already concluded that at the start, right? But I still say that it's a good model to start considering our basic session. Are you getting that? In fact, Avila, there are more powerful models available other than that also. We have the TF-IDF model. Okay, there are multiple other models which are available that can be considered. You can also consider the cosine similarity model. Multiple are available. Okay, but right now we are using this particular model. Getting that thing now? Perfect. So now I'm just clearing out the screen. What are you saying? Please ignore the update pop-up on the screen. Okay. That now. Perfect. So now let's see how to implement that. So I say over here, I'm going to create the bag of word model, and it uses the count vectorizer. It's welcome, Guru Raja. It uses the count vectorizer class. So let us use that. So Vivek, I'm going to hand over the control to you after around 3-4 minutes, and I'll just check what is the problem. And till then, you can take over the control for a couple of minutes after this. So I say over here, I'm going to have over here, let's say, I'll explain you everything. Please hold on. It's an empty list which I have created. Then I say over here from sklearn dot feature extraction dot next. I want you to import count vectorizer. Then I say create an object of it as usual. So I say CV is equal to count vectorizer. You know what? I'm going to write something over here which I have never explained, but I'll explain it to you in a couple of minutes from now. And I say maximum features is equal to 3. And I'm going to print my review 2. Then I say corpus 1 dot append my review 2. And then I say I'm going to print corpus 1. Everything what I'm writing over here is actually very easy. Don't stress too much on it. So let me tell you what I have done over here. I have created an empty list over here. So that's purely empty. Then I say I want to use the count vectorizer class, which is going to implement my bag of words model. Cool. After this, I say maximum features equal to 3. Let us leave it as of now. I'll talk of this in detail. Then I say print my review too. Well, it is going to print exactly the same thing. I did not do any processing. Then I say I'm going to append this review in my corpus. So precisely this entire thing is going to be appended inside this. So this entire thing will come over here. So what are we doing over here? Well, I'm just making you prepared for what if I have multiple reviews over here. Right now I'm working on just a single review, right? But later on I'm going to have multiple reviews. Okay, because if you remember, we had total 1,000 reviews with us, right? And this is just one of it. Okay, this is just one of it. I'm going to create an empty list over here. Light came. Finally. So I'm going to create an empty list over here. And after creating an empty list over here, I'm simply going to append each of the process sentence one by one in this list. So if there are, let's say, around 20 such process sentence, I'm going to add this into this list first. Then I'm going to add this into this list. Then I'm going to add this into this list. Then I'll be adding this into this list. Then I'll be adding this into this list, and the list ends. So precisely this is what I did. So should this is my sentence, and when I execute this, I get wow, lovely. So this is what my older one is, and this is it has become a part of a string now. Okay, now what is this max features equal to 3? Well, first of all, let us complete with this. Then I say I have used the count vectorizer class, but still it is not yet converted to numbers, right? We want to convert it to numbers. So I say this is equal to CV. The object name is CV dot fit transform on my purpose one, because it requires it in the form of a list. Therefore, we pushed everything in the list. And then I say print. Let me do it over here. And then I say print my X. Well, printing X doesn't help you a lot. Okay, it doesn't help you a lot. So I would say instead of saying printing X, it makes more sense to convert it in the form of an array. And this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get. So always you ensure that we are going to convert it into an array. Okay, now just a second. I am going to connect back to my Wi-Fi. Hold on. I'm connecting back to my Wi-Fi. Yes, I have connected back. Yes. Is my voice perfect now?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Super duper high speed, 76 Mbps upload speed. In this, I can conduct around 20-30 live sessions at a time. Cool. So let's go ahead. So, okay. Now, what did we do over here is, let me explain you what happened over here. You understood the procedure mathematically. I already explained you what's happening. And we see that our sentence, wow, love, place, is converted into 111. Now, you will not realize the importance of this unless and until you see multiple sentences over here converted into numbers. But at least we understand that yes, it is converted into numbers. Okay, point number one. Secondly, the second question which I want to answer over here is, what is fit transform doing? Fit transform is going to take up these records one by one, understand over here what are the unique characters over here, what is the count of that, and accordingly it is going to convert these x to numbers. That is what is fit transform is going to do. Is that clear to you, Shivani? Since you're not aware of machine learning, therefore this question is coming. You can just understand that fit transform is the one which is responsible for converting this thing to numbers. Clear? Fine. Okay, it is responsible for converting it into numbers, Shivani. If you have any questions, please let me know. Then there was one more question from Shubhangi, I guess. She is from YouTube Live. Let me, I think I skipped out just a second. Yes. Did not and like will not be distinguished by the program. Yes, it won't be distinguished. Yes, yes, Shubhangi. Shubhangi Davle, it won't be distinguished because of the stop words that we have considered. So yes, there are different good techniques also apart from that, as I told you, but this was just one of the basic techniques that we are studying. So don't expect that we are going to build a very strong model, but certainly it will not be a very pathetic model as well. Okay. So now we understood that yes, it has been converted to numbers. There is one more thing which I want to talk of is the one which I missed upon, which is the max number of features. What is this? Well, over here, how many words are there? Three, right? How many words are there? Three words, right? But you remember the example wherein I asked you to take the screenshot of that? How many unique words were there over in that example? How many unique words were there? Four, right? So we considered total number of sentences as three, and inside that the number of the unique words that we found out were four. Friends, now please try to understand that our data set, I hope you remember. I'll just add a thing over here, and I hope you remember our data set dot shape. So our data set consists of total of 1,000 rows. When I say 1,000 rows, we understand that our data set consists of 1,000 sentences. So in 1,000 sentences, how many unique words can come? Let's say assume, I'm just assuming over here that let's say there are around 2,500 unique words. I can assume that, right? I mean, that could be the possible numbers. You all agree with that? It may be maybe lesser than that, but 2,500 can also come. You agree, right? Yes or no, guys? Yes. So what is this max feature helping us to do? Well, max feature says that if my corpus is getting converted from 1,000 to 2,500, then obviously the vector that you are going to get for every sentence is going to be converted into a length of 2,500 numbers. I say no, 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 no. Consider only the top, let's say 1,500 numbers. Okay, I'm going to give number as 15. Consider only the top 1,500 numbers. Drop the last 1,000. Am I losing out on something? Yes, you are certainly losing out. So what is the right value to consider? Well, that is again something which you have to do it on a hit and trial basis. Okay, there is no certain answer to anything in machine learning and natural language processing. You have to tune it by executing it multiple number of times. So right now, I will not talk of that. Right now, just understand is we know that these four unique words are actually sorted in the descending order. And when I say that if there are 4 unique words, I want you to consider only the top 3, not the last one. Similarly, if I have 2500 unique words, please consider the only top 1500 unique words. That is exactly what I'm trying to say over here. I will talk more of this when we do it on our entire data set. I'll talk of that. But right now, I hope you got what is the meaning of max features. Am I correct? Is this concept clear to you? So that now we can think of generalizing the things on the entire data set. Very good. Max feature is a hyperparameter. Yes, Subbu, it's a hyperparameter. Perfect. So Vivek, off to you. I just need to use the washroom. I'll be back in a minute and a half. Will you take over the control of the session for a couple of minutes?
Sure, doctor. You can definitely carry on. Just wanted to share my screen while I
Yes,
wait.
sure.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Okay, before I proceed, guys, one thing I missed out to inform. We are live on YouTube as well, and we have quite a lot of people who are actually watching us live on this session, attending this session live from YouTube as well, guys. One thing want to inform you, especially the people who are on YouTube, there is a link, Google form on YouTube caption. You can have a look at the description in that particular live streaming and fill up the form, because that will allow you as well to be a part of the lucky dip draw, which we are going to run tonight in some time. So we're heading towards the interesting part of this webinar, wherein we're going to start giving out these free giveaways. Then we're starting to give out a few discounts, and also we also going to announce the lucky dip winner today itself, which is going to be a cool thing. um, Guys, one thing I also noticed during our activity, that we had questions regarding the recording session, Dr. Darshan's Jupyter Notes, the PPT which he is using. Uh, Definitely be rest assured, these three things will be added to your dashboard within 24 hours after this session has ended. So you don't have to worry at all about getting missing out on any information. In fact, we will curate the recording properly so that you don't have to worry about the other aspects, or the checking or the mic test and all that. So you, all you will be doing is you'll be actually having the proper session curated and added to your dashboard, because I'm sure everyone knows the file is going to be so huge it can't be sent over an email. So we're going to be adding it to your Eduonix dashboard within the next 24 hours. So do not have to worry about it. One question before I move ahead. Sagar says, how can we apply for the giveaway? Sagar, yes, I am coming to that just now. So coming to the interesting part of it, I'm just sharing my screen, guys. Just let me know if you guys can have a look at my, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, one moment. Oh, sorry, I accidentally just discontinued that. Sorry about that. One moment, I'm just adding you back on the screen. Okay, okay. Now, guys, just respond, or if you guys can have. Yeah. Okay,
Perfect.
doctor. Okay, doctor is there. So quickly, without taking too much time from Dr. Darshan, I just want to introduce you the things which you are covering today on the, with respect to all the technologies and all the algorithms which Dr. Darshan's going through. We are actually touching base on the fundamentals and on the superficial side of things. We are not getting into the in-depth analysis or the in-depth how it works, or how this ideally should perform, or what's the concept behind it. So we have something called as a live training session. Now, what does a live training session basically mean is you get to attend a 2 month long session. So this is a 2 month long session starting from the 20th of February, which is about just 3 days away, this Saturday, Every weekend we have a 2-hour session which includes Dr. Darshan and few other global instructors who will I'll mention the names in a bit as well. There are only 14 seats which are available as we speak during this workshop. Now, may I just ask who all are keen or interested to register for this upcoming workshop? Just put yes or interested, or who all are. Wow, okay, so there is a lot of yes in interested coming up. Great, great, great. So I will share the link quickly because I don't want you guys to be distracted. Be rest assured, I will give you every information about the goodies as well as the is there is no alternative, Bruce, at the moment. I'm sorry. The live training is something which we actually have designed in such a way that it covers right from basic to advanced, and people who have the knowledge or who have the information would be actually able to reiterate or maybe learn something new from these industry experts. So without taking much time, let me take it back to Dr. Darshan, and during our question and answers round, I'll introduce here with all your questions, with all your interests to people who are actually keen to register for this. Okay, I'll stop sharing, Dr. Darshan. I'll take it back. And guys on YouTube, just one last thing. Sorry, doctor. One last thing on people who are on YouTube, you can post your comments on the YouTube comment section. Our team is working at the back end of it, and they are relaying the questions to Dr. Darshan. So don't have to worry, Dr. Darshan will answer your questions as well. And also register using that little Google form link which you have on the description to be entitled for all these giveaways. All right, thank you. Doctor, you can just get started. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Let me share my screen, guys. Share, sorted. Okay, now let us try to generalize the operation. Another 15-20 minutes and we should be sorted. So I'd like to show you the data set once again. So yes, we had this data, and luckily, fortunately, we worked hard on it and we were able to convert this sentence into numbers. It's time to convert every sentence into numbers. How to do that? Well, let us straight away do the cleaning stuff over here. So I'm going to do everything now on a generic way. So I say, since I want everything to be there at the single place, I write over here all the imports once again so that it will be easy for you when you study. Then you need to write import your NLTK. Then as usual, NLTK dot download, and that's going to be stop words, commenting that it takes time around 15-20 seconds, and we have already downloaded that. Then again, last I say from NLTK dot corpus, I'm going to import. However, all these things are not required to be imported once again. I just want everything to be there at one single place. That's the only reason I'm doing it. And I say from NLTK dot stem dot porter, import porter stemmer. Then we say I'm going to create a corpus of empty list. This is exactly what we did up also. Now I say, let's start with the main thing. I have total 1,000 sentences. These 1,000 sentences are going from 0 to 999. So I say for I in range of starting with 0 go up to 1,000. That is, it will go from 0 to 999. And what I say, please recollect me, what was the very first operation that we did on the sentence, wow, loved this place? Let me hear it from you only. I don't remember. I have a very bad memory. Can you help me out? What was the first operation? First operation that we did, first operation, split, tokenization, remove. Really? I don't have that bad memory either. I'm sure it was not that. Yes. It's the regular expression, friends, regular expression, right? RE, not the stop word removal, the regular expression, removing of the hashtags, punctuations, numbers, removal of all that. Everyone recollects it? Yes. You recollect it now? Yes. So I do that step once again. So I say, hey, my review is going to be re dot substitute, and inside this I say, wherever you see anything other than small a to small z or capital A to capital Z, you got to replace that with space. And you remember what did we wrote over there? Data set, then we did write review, and then we wrote 0. This time we are not going to work on 0, we are going to work on I instead. What is this I going to be? Well, remember it's a for loop, so this I for the very first iteration is going to take the value 0, next time 1, next time 2, next time 3, so on and so forth, right up to 999. So each of the sentences is one by one going to be converted into normal words, removing the numbers, punctuations, everything, and stored over here. So it's a for loop. So this time we are doing it all together on the entire data set. Cool. Then we converted that to lower. Then I say review is equal to review dot lower. Perfect. What after that? Well, after that, before moving to stop words, I think we splitted that. So then I say my review is going to be review dot split, and then after that we considered applying Porter stemmers. So stemming was done, created an object, then we say let's apply this, and I say some operation is going to be applied over here. Then if you remember, I said for word in review, if that particular word is not there in the stop words dot stop words dot words of English, then I want you to consider what? I want you to consider the stemmed from of that word. I did two operations altogether. I will explain this to you once again. Earlier, what did we do? We did said that if that particular word is not there in stop words, then only include that word. And then once again, we applied the list comprehension where we said that include the stem from of that word. I combined those two steps. Why? Is there any unnecessary operation required? So I say over here for word in this, if that particular word is not there in the stop word, then don't store the word as it is. Store the stem from of that directly. As simple as that. Combined. Okay. Now, after that, what is the next thing that we are going to do? Join. So I say, hey, my review is going to be dot join, and store it back in review itself. And then I'll like to print my review, and remember corpus dot append. Correct. Very nice. Review. I hope there are no spelling mistakes. Yes. So friends, if you observe, wow, love, place, this is what we got for the very first sentence when we did it individually, and we are getting the same over here. The next examples, crust, good, tasty, texture. You see all of this stupidity. Why is this happening? Because of our stemming. But that's fine. Machine loves it. We need not worry about that. Correct. Stop late, me, bank, blah, blah, blah. So many things. And what do you see? Well, these are just nothing but converted into reviews one by one. And then each of these reviews we have appended into my corpus, which is in the form of a list. So if you observe over here, please observe what is printed over here is just the review, and this review is just printed one by one. But when I say that, hey, I want to print the corpus, this corpus is in the form of a list. You see, it starts with a list. So how many such things are there? Obviously 1,000. If you say, hey, I want to look at the length of the corpus, it has to be 1,000. Okay. So now let's apply count vectorizer all together. So I say how to apply it all together. So I'm going to say, I'm going to import. So I say, once again, let us write down from sklearn dot preprocessing, oh, not preprocessing, I'm sorry, dot feature extraction dot text. I'm going to import count vectorizer. Let us create an object of count vectorizer. And then I say over here, how many features to consider? Well, I say the maximum number of features to consider. Let it be this time 1,500 because we have 1,000 sentences. So I say, okay, consider the top 1,500 words which have the highest occurrence of frequency. Okay, so this time it's going to be 1,500. So going ahead, then after this, that's sorted. Okay, created an object. Now x is equal to cb dot count dot fit transform. Go and study over this and make sure you convert this to numbers. What are you going to convert to numbers? Well, whatever I'm passing you in the form of the corpus is converted back to numbers. And after that, we know that we want to convert it to array. So why to waste time? Let us do it over here itself. And now I say, hey, I want to see x. Well, you see over here, this is the first sentence. This is the second sentence. In this way, this is the 999th sentence. If you want to see, well, I'll just show you one of the sentence over here. Or one of the sentences x of 0, the very first sentence. What is the x of 0? The very first sentence, wow, love, place. What is the length of this? What is the length of x of 0? 1,500. It has to be 1,500 because we said, right, 1,500. So if you remember now, what do we have? Our data set, which was consisting of just 2 columns. So we said that, hey, there are total 1,000 rows and 2 columns. Now it is this only one column. If I say this is my x column and this is my y column, this only x column, which was consisting of 1,000 records, this is now actually being transformed into how many columns? Well, 1,500 columns, right? 1,500 columns. And then this y is also there over here. So this x and this y. So precisely the dimension of this is, yes, there are 1,000 rows, but how many columns have become? 1,501. Are you able to follow this? Are you able to follow this? Because this single column is converted into 1,500 columns. Are we increasing on the processing in natural language processing? Certainly, yes. That is why it is considered as one of the advanced level of machine learning. Okay, it's advanced machine learning. NLP is advanced machine learning. Cool and perfect. So you got it. Then Biju is saying, can we apply 80-20 ratio for max features to get better accuracy? Yes, certainly, Biju. It's a hyperparameter. So you have to actually see what is the best value that you get. Right now, I'm putting it as 1,500 because I know it somehow manages to give me better results. But in real life, yes, you will have to try out with different values. If you give me something which even I have not seen before, then I will have to do the tuning before concluding anything. So, friends, it's done. So we know that, yes, our textual data is now converted into numbers. Let us say if I want to see all the words that are sorted and what are the different words. So I can use over here cv dot get feature names. What are the top 1,500 words which are selected? Well, these are the top 1,500 words. Now you may say, sir, then these values are getting repeated. Yes, I totally agree. It's a machine, right? So machine can do that. But ultimately, what is important is how good is it predicting for us. That is what we have to see. So, okay, this is what we have. That's fine. Now, let us now start making our machine learning model. So X is ready. So machine learning model, I'm going to make my Y also ready. So I say dataset dot ilock all the rows of the first column dot values and Y. Precisely what I did over here is in our data set, I'll just show you in our data set dot head. You see over here, the second column is liked. This second column is liked. I'm saying over here that yes, this second column has to be stored in this value variable, which is called as Y. This extracted everything in the form of a NumPy array. That's exactly what we did over here. Non-coders just understand these all column was extracted over here in the form of an array. Okay. Sir, we have taken the stem words. So how the words are repeating? Because stemming has that all things. I mean, you didn't see this thing perfectly. I should. Where are we? Oh my God. Why am I scrolling over here like a fool? Just a second. If you look at the stem words, you see over here hasn't, they are there. That is the reason you have it. Is and isn't, might, that is the reason you are having it. Okay, these all are the different stemmed things. Getting it, Sagar? Therefore you are finding that thing. Okay, now our X is separated and our Y is separated. Let's go ahead. Let's build a machine learning model. So I'm going to divide the data. So our X is there, Y is there. The very first task for machine learning is, if you have a data set, now we now have a data set where we know that this is a data set which consists of 1000 rows and 1501 columns. So I say that I have taken this into X and this into Y. I'm going to divide it because I want to train a machine learning model. How am I going to do it? Well, I say I'm going to divide it into two parts. One is called as my train part, one is called as my test part. So it is like, I'm telling a student that tomorrow I'm going to take your test. So this is what you are going to study. This is your question bank and this is your answer bank. Make sure you study all this and come tomorrow prepared. And when you come tomorrow, I'm going to ask you questions. So that's going to be a test paper that you have to attempt. And you have to attempt that. So I'm going to see how good are you able to attempt that. Let us call it as the predictions of the model. Okay. So obviously, agenda over here is to divide the things into question bank and answer bank, and then give this as paper and see how good is the model able to predict from here. And this predictions, I'm going to compare it with the solution which I already have it, because this is what we have, right? Since if I use the entire data for training, if I give this and this entirely for training, then how can I consider, or how can I find out how good is the accuracy of the model? So that is a problem over here. So to solve this particular problem, we are doing this. So we divide the data into train and test. So again, what is the train and test size that one should give? Again, that's a hyper parameter. You cannot actually confirm on that, but usually it is considered as a 80-20 split as a starting parameter at least. So I'm going to do that. And this whole thing is very easily done by sklearn. So I say from sklearn dot model selection, I'm going to import train test split. This is going to divide the data into four parts, just like I showed you over here. So one is called as xtrain, which is the question bank part. Next is called as the xtest, which is the test paper part. Next is called as the ytrain, which is this answer bank part. And the last is called as the y test, which is this solution part. And I'm going to call the method train test split, where I say, hey, this is x, this is y, and I want the test size equal to 0.20. That means test size should be 20%. That by default indicates that the train size is 80%. Okay. After doing that, I said done. So this splitting is done. Now I'm going to say, hey, I want to build a machine learning model over here. Which model am I planning to build? I'm going to fit it to one of the machine learning model. It's okay if you don't know this model. Anyways, I'm not going to go into the mathematical aspect of that. We are just trying to understand how is the prediction done over here. What is the mathematics behind this? We will certainly look at it when we start with the in-depth session, because this algorithms mathematics explanation itself is going to take 2 hours. Therefore, we are not getting into that. Okay. Then I say let us use the neo bias classifier. So that particular thing is available. The machine learning model dot neo bias is called as Gaussian neo bias. That's fine. What do? You simply create an object of it as usual, and then you say, hey, Gaussian neo bias. Now that the object of it is created, please fit over the data. Fit is like, say, machine learning model that, boss, this is the question bank, this is the answer bank. Please go and try to understand the relationship between question bank and answer bank. That is between X train and Y train. Don't memorize it. Try to capture the features over here. How is question and answer related? How is X train and Y train related? Try to capture. In our case, our X train is nothing but the reviews of the restaurant which customers have given, and Y is whether it is a liked or unliked. So please fit over what? X train and Y train. Done. So the study is over. Now the study is over. Now please predict. So I say, hey, classifier, I want you to predict. Predict on what? So this is your question paper. And I'm going to store your predictions in YPred. Now, the answers which this model has appeared are stored over here. And we know that the ideal answers are stored over here. So we need to compare Y test and YPred. How are you going to do that? Are you going to do it manually for all the 1,000 records? Of course, you can't. So you have something which is called as an accuracy. I'm going to check the accuracy of the model. So I say from sklearn.metrics, I'm going to import accuracy score. And I simply say, hey, accuracy score, this is what is the ideal answer, which is there in Y test. And this is what is the prediction of the model. Tell me in percentage terms, how good is the model? Well, we are getting a model with 65% accuracy. To be very honest, model should be minimum 85% accuracy. But come on, considering the techniques, the basic techniques that we have used, if you remember, we have used the modeling technique of what? Stemming. A bad technique. Lemmatization could be better. We will talk of those all things later. Then our train test split, we split it into 80-20 form. Then our bag of words model, which I told you, it's not a very good model, but manages to give you better results. So it's not something which is very bad. 65 is still tolerable, I would say. Not certainly one of the worst possible fit, I would say. So one last thing, okay? Now last thing, let us see, I mean, how good is the model doing on unknown data? Yes, you can split into 70-30 as well, Sagar, and which I will leave it to you as an exercise. Let us see the predictions of the model now. Let's say the review is something which I'm going to get it from here. So let us ask the user to input the review. So I say, hey user, please input the review. So I say enter the review. So user is going to enter the review over here. I'm going to straight away store it by converting it in the form of a list. Okay, do that standard way. Then I say whatever is the input data, I have to convert it first to numbers. I have to convert this input data into numbers. Please understand this, then I'll take your questions. So I say now my CV has already done the study part of it. I just need to make sure it is converted into numbers by giving our transform method. Okay, and it may sound a bit intimidating at the end, but that's okay. I mean, just ignore that, ignore the coding part of it, understand on the output over here. And ultimately, because it requires a higher level of understanding, to be very honest. but that's okay. If you visualize it in the form of results, you should not face any issues. And I say my, let me say I'm going to store the predictions in input pred, and I say I am calling my classifier. I'll explain this once again. Just let me complete writing it. Classifier dot predict on input data, and then I say input pred is equal to input pred dot although it's optional, but let me convert it to integer, and then I say oh, spelling mistake somewhere, where here, thank you very much. Let us see. I'm going to print input pred. Let's say if I give something like, nice service, well, it predicted answer as 1. That means the review is positive, but I don't like this. In fact, I should say over here, rather than saying this, is print input pred of 0, because it is a list, right? Inside this list, it is at index location 0. So I say I don't want the square brackets, so execute it, and once again when I write as nice service, I get 1. Let us modify it further. I say over here that if my input pred of 0 is equal to 1, I'm going to print that review is positive, else I'm going to print that review is negative. It is executed. Now let's say if I give something like my service, it says review is positive. If I give something like maybe long waiting queue, review is negative. So our model is actually performing good. I don't say it's performing the best, it's performing good. I'll show you one not so good example also. So if I say food is good, positive, and if I say look over here, how do we fool the model? Food is not good, review is positive. So the word not is actually getting removed over here. Do you realize this thing? Do you realize why do we say the model is having 65% accuracy? Because this is where it fails. It doesn't qualify for each and everything. So please understand over here that not is the word which is getting dropped over here. So how to tackle this scenario? Well, for that you will have to go into the more detailed understanding of natural language processing. But right now, for today, I would say that it's still a pretty good job that we have done to build a model which is 65% accurate. And let me tell you that if you try your level best also using this count vectorizer bag of words model, your accuracy of the model can be maximum boosted up to 80%. I have tried all that things. Then you need to go for some other models like TF-IDF, cosine similarity. In neo-bias, you have to do the hyperparameter tuning, try out with the different train test split combinations. All those things you got to do over here. Okay, so yes, so that's how it is. Okay, now let me see if there are any questions. For that, we can add not in the stop words. Yes, you can do that. Certainly, Shikhar. It will still won't understand by the model easily. Okay, so yes guys, that's it for today. Now if you have any questions related to this, please feel free to ask me anything which you feel.
Sorry, doctor. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, doctor. One second before I, get the questions asked. Guys, as I mentioned, we have this lucky drip draw for the $100 thing from Eduonix. Just make sure it's a rather 20-second thing which you have to do. Just enter your information on the form which I have just mentioned, and you can also simultaneously ask the questions to Dr. Darshan. So at the end of the question answers round, we will do a lucky drip draw, which will be picked by Dr. Darshan Ingle. So yes, you guys can continue with the questions. I will just make sure that you guys are able to see this form It's a very simple 2-question form. Just fill that up so that we can ensure that we are giving away the prizes, rather the lucky dip winner to the attendee, not the person who is registered with us and not attended. All right. Okay. Yes, you can continue with the questions, and Doctor will be happy to answer them.
Yes, thank you very much, Vivek. Okay, so Abella is asking us, why did I choose Gaussian naive bias? Well, Abella, there is no hard and fast reason as to why I choose. In fact, when it comes to machine learning, you just cannot say that looking at the data, choose this particular model. But there are some educated guesses that one can take. Usually, Gaussian naive Bayes model is considered to be a very good model in the data sets where you have the problem of least amount of multi-collinearity. In natural languages like English, we know that the words are not correlated to the words which come before or after that. And that is the reason naive bias is used over here, because naive bias is very, very strong to deal with such issues. So that is the reason I straight away started with that. However, you can try with any other regression algorithms, or sorry, any other classification algorithms as well. You can try with logistic regression, you can try with decision tree classifier, you can try with random forest, you can try with XGBoost classifier. There are multiple classification algorithms available. You can certainly try with that as well. But I would suggest, before changing the algorithm, let me tell you, naive Bayes is very strong. Problem is not with naive Bayes. Problem is with the pre-processing that we have done. You know, the stop word removal, that is where few of the lacunas are. And the second lacuna is the bag of the words model. This is culprit in real time. If you say in industry, do we use bag of words model? No one gives a call to this model. It's not at all advisable, because it is only considering the frequencies. Frequencies is not always important. The context of the word is also important. That's exactly what we understood in the PPT as well. I hope you remember. That is the reason you need to work on the pre-processing stuff rather than saying these things. Okay, clear to you? Yes. Then what are some of the other models other than bag of words models? TF-IDF, cosine similarity, you can try that. How do you make the model learn? Well, model should not learn. Model should actually get the concepts or get the features. And that is done using the fit method of the model that we did over here. I hope you remember we did the fit method over here. Here. See here, classifier.fit. That's how model gets it. Okay. You can try 70-30 split. Yes, we can do it in the form of trial and error. Correct. Mainly depends upon the trial and error. Yes, machine learning is all about experimentation. You know, you cannot say that, hey, 80-20 is going to be the best one, because let the machine decide it. I always say to all my learners, machine learning is an experimentation, not a philosophy. So if you're sitting in front of a machine, why don't ask the machine, hey, what is the accuracy if I consider these all values? Why are you predicting unnecessary? Are you going to do the calculations? No. It's the machine that has converted your 1,000 sentences into 1,500 columns. So let the machine do the calling part. You don't take this stress. As simple as that. Does the dataset size affect the accuracy? Yes, certainly. It certainly affects a lot of things. It does affect the accuracy as well. Shikhar is saying very good session and informative. Thank you very much, Shikhar. Can we do 60-40? Yes, 60-40 is done. 50-50 is the last thing which one should try, but I would not suggest that. 60-40 is still okay, Sagar. Okay, but not 50-50, not advisable. But at times, if the data is very pathetic, we sometimes try with 50-50 as well. Can we go for 1 ml? So we can go for 1 ml model. Why do we need to go for another? Like this is this. Every algorithm does the same job. No, Prasanna. Every algorithm, although does the same job, but with different accuracy. For example, Prasanna, if let's say, I mean, if you are in your third year of engineering, every student is studying. So does every student get the same percentage in the exam? Yes, Prasanna. Every student studies the same subjects. So every student gets the same percentage? Yes. Every student gets the same percentage in your class? No, right? Huh. Obviously not, right? So every student won't get it. Similarly, machine learning algorithms also, some algorithms perform well on a specific data, some algorithms perform well on some other type of data. So it is advisable that you go to different algorithms before confirming on one. But yes, if one of the algorithm is giving you, let's say, straight away 95% accuracy, then there is no need to look for some other algorithm. Then thank, thank you, Neil. Uh, I was given a nearby classifier as an instruction, asked me to build a baseline classifier. Can comment on how would one build in this problem? You try with neo-Bayes classification, Bella. You try with Bernoulli's classification. You try with multinomial neo-Bayes. Try out with these three models. It should help you out. How do we retrain the model with more data? Once again, by doing the fitting. That's it. So which ML model gives good accuracy? Should we go for that? Yes, yes, Prasanna. Perfect. So whichever gives us the best accuracy among all this, we are going to go for that. Cool. So I think that seems to be sorted, guys. Overall, I'm sure you like the session. Please comment.
I
I
definitely
mean,
loved it.
thank you very much. But let us hear it from the learners as well. I mean, was the session informative for you all? Did you learn anything in these 3 hours? Okay, okay. So good things. Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. That's indeed very nice to read all these messages. Thank you very much. That is kind of a feedback which I immediately get it from my learners, right? So now even if Eduonix doesn't take feedback, then I'm fine. I did a justice with you all, right? So I'm happy to see this.
Yes, we definitely do, Dr. Darshan. So, guys, don't leave the session because this is where we actually giving away your free goodies. You've been so patient, and of course, Dr. Darshan has also been so patient and kind to give us a real understanding of how to go about things. But as he mentioned, everything can't be covered in depth in this trials. I would say this 3 hour session which we had. Thank you everyone for the comments. Now, as promised, I will just first share with you for the last time. I'll just share with you the form link, which is just got two questions: your name and your email address. Just make sure you fill it up very quickly. And if in case you have any questions, just keep shooting it on the chat box. Dr. Darshan is still around with me, who will be happy to answer your questions. At the end of this session, you will receive an email also, which will have the feedback form link, and that feedback will be about this particular session. How did we do regarding the entire details? So, without wasting much time, I will actually just offer you the registration link now. How many of you would be happy if you're getting an extra discount at the time of registration now? So at the if you check at the site, it's actually 10%, but I am giving you double the discount just at the webinar. Here's the link. Have a look at the link and you will be able to register, and I'm sure there is a count as well of number of seats which are left on that particular. That's a real time counter, and I'm sure it will be keeping updated every hour, I think. So have a look at this and make sure the code is already embedded, so you don't have to worry about getting stuck anywhere. All you have to do is just complete the registration. The best part here is, okay, let me share the screen quickly. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Okay. Where's my screen? All right. Okay. So just as I mentioned before, it's a 2 month long session, only applicable on a Saturday and a Sunday, and 50 seats were available at the moment. There are very few available. So quickly, let me breeze through. These are the highlights which we have. It's not just going to be one way session. It's going to be an interactive live Q&A session. As mentioned before, it's going to be a mentorship and career guidance help as well from the instructors who are going to be a part of this. You will have assignments which will be also checked, and you will be having reviews from the experts, and you will of course have 24 by 7 assistance from Eduonix Learning Solutions as a part of you being such a registered student with us. As I mentioned, it's just exclusive to 50 seats because we want to give you a personalized attention. We just don't want to crowd and make it difficult for people to understand, and then the attention is not there. So we have got instructors who can actually give personalized attention. So these are the, if you have a look, these are the industry projects which we are actually going to be involving in the live session. So in-depth session as well as these industry projects. What more can you ask for? So if you see, I'm actually trying to also figure out what more can Eduonix offer me if I have to do. Well, what I can do is, as I mentioned, yes, one more thing before I mention the what's more Audionics can offer. This is the certificate which we're looking at the end of your successful 2 month long sorry 2 month long journey with the instructors. These are industry verified certificates. You can definitely be not just adding gray cells to yourself, but also gaining knowledge as well as getting ready for the next step in your career. Yes, so this is the most interesting one which I was talking about, the webinar offer which I was talking about, the 20%. The spot offer now, the for the instant decision makers, there is a Python mini e-degree which is actually having 20 plus projects, certification, 120 plus lectures. That's worth $48 that we are giving it out for free once you are making a spot registration using this code. This is applicable during this webinar. And let me be very honest, as I checked the backend while doctor was explaining you the algorithms, I actually noticed that there are quite a few registrations which have come through our regular visitors from our website. So for the webinar attendees, this is the best chance for you guys to make it, because I'll tell you the cost of your registration, if you deduct $48 out of that, you're virtually paying very less amount out of that. So it's about $120 and you take 48 out of it. So you roughly, so yeah, I'm not so good at maths, but yeah, we're looking at roughly about the 60 to $70, $60 uh, of this, and which is almost less than, more than half of what the actual website price is. Website is offering at $150. We actually giving it to you at the actual price of 70 odd dollars, 60 odd dollars. So best time is now. I'm sure you will have a very good session starting in next 3 days. It's actually just next 72 hours it's going to start off. So make the best of this opportunity, and I will recommend, if you guys, okay, the page is not opening, which, okay, let's have a look. Are you talking about this link is not opening? Which is strange because this is being tested. Okay, I'll unlock the bit.ly link and give you the proper link. Just bear with me. I'll stop the share and quickly let me give you that one moment. And also, I'll also let you know that there is a free giveaway which I mentioned right at the start. I will give you the link for that as well, which you can use to claim that free goodie for yourself. Just give me one moment. First, let me just unlock this thing. One moment. Okay, guys, forget the bit.ly link. I'm just pasted the actual link for you with the offer. Okay, in case you are not able to use the bit.ly link, here's the actual link which I have shared with you guys. Guys, don't miss out, because I just had a look and it says about 43 odd seats are actually been sold already. So there are quite a few people who may have just taken the advantage of this. One more thing is, let me quickly give you the free giveaway of the day, which is a premium course. Here's the bit.ly link for that. A premium course just for the attendees who have been so patient and been gaining knowledge from Dr. Darshan. So this is one thing which we are giving out. Uh, Screen not showing. Saurabh, I didn't understand your message. I'm sorry.
Means to say you have not shared the screen, I guess that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, doctor. So I will just help everyone out quickly. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. So guys, as I mentioned before, Dr. Darshan is a part of this live training session as well. Let me also introduce you to the other members who are also going to be a part of this lovely upcoming session. So if you just scroll down on that particular page, you will be able to see the others. So that's Dr. Darshan Ingle, one of the handsome instructors on the entire panel. Then there is John as well, who is a coach and a data scientist. Then we have Mr. Upendra Singhai as well. He's a renowned face in the software industry, especially it comes to programming languages like data science, machine learning, web development. So and then there is Himanshu Moria. So he is again a senior machine learning engineer at iSchool Connect. So these are the panel of instructors who actually are going to groom you, are going to nurture you, are going to help you out, and they will ensure that you are having a proper session which will help you with your learning. So let me just check. I see that there is 1 second. There is the link. The freebie course is, which is very strange. I don't know. It's been tested before the event, and I opened it, and actually it worked very well even before the start of the session. Let me just share the actual link. Okay, guys, in the meantime, any questions quickly if you can ask, and we are going to be sharing the the winner. I'm just going to be sharing the list of attendees with Dr. Darshan now, and he will just randomly choose one winner. We'll announce the winner immediately, and that should be the end of this lovely 3-hour journey with Dr. Darshan Ingle. So Dr. Darshan, I'm sorry, I know it's a little extended session, and in India it's about bedtime almost for a few. So we'll not take more time. One moment, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, just allow me a few seconds. I'm just getting that link, just checking that link quickly.
I tried opening the links. Both of them are working.
Yes, I'm actually just checking with Bitly and without Bitly as well. So it's working. Yes, it's absolutely fine. So I'm not sure why it's not opening for a few. Maybe I'll just open the link and give it out. So yeah. here's the Zoom. Okay. Okay. So here's the free freebie which I was talking about. Guys, one last thing is, let me just for the very last time share the link of our registration page. Here you go. All right, and Dr. Darshan, I am actually sharing the sheet with you, so you can just do a random pick for the $100 voucher from Eduonix. Guys, anyone feeling lucky? Just just give a shout on chat. Okay, okay, we have yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so uh, yeah, so Dr. Darshan, I've just shared a link with you. Just have a
Okay.
look. Yeah, and I will. Yeah, so I will just. Yeah, Biju is actually just putting a word for you. My name is Biju, so Doctor, you can yeah, definitely see the reason why we have kept this thing right at the last is not just because we want to keep you guys waiting for long, but it's just to ensure that we are giving it out to the attendees, as well as we are actually not being any biased at all. We are having the names, but we just wanted it to be given to our instructor, who is actually not a part of Eduonix, but he is actually working closely with Eduonix. So yes, so there are a lot of people who are saying using the negative policy as well. No, yes, no, okay, fingers crossed. Okay, guys, any one of you who has purchased the course, can I just ask anyone who has actually, because I haven't had a check at the back end, but I just wanted to understand if you guys had a chance um, to register for the actual session. Okay. All right. So, okay. So in the next 30 seconds, I'll just give the mic over to Dr. Darshan to announce the winner. His first name, last name, and the email. Rather, email would be too personal to give out to other attendees as well. So I think the first name, last name would be good enough to announce. Yes. Okay, sir. Take all our names. Perform random choice in the notebook. Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
I was thinking of that only. I mean, else it would be a bias, right?
Yeah, if you want to do it at the yeah, something like that. See, I'm not aware of the technology, but yeah, if you are able to do that, nothing like it. We can definitely be absolutely transparent with everyone.
Okay. So the sheet which you have shared with me, can you please this hide the email column?
Yes, I'll do that. Give me one moment. Guys, in the meantime, other than, I think I've just seen one person who has said that he's purchased it. The seats are actually filling up. Guru Raj Rao says, I guess has purchased. Okay. Uh, Not sure. I have not checked the backend. Quickly, let me help the Dr. Darshan. One moment. Guys, for the last time, I'm pasting the registration link. Okay. All right, it's done. Dr. Darshan, the email addresses have been kept secured from the sheet.
Okay. I'll just share my screen. Vivek, can I request you to please add 1, 2, 3, 4 over here so that we can do a random number selection. Okay, just type
Yeah.
1, 2 and
Yeah,
drag
yeah.
it down. Then I'll
Yes.
generate a random number.
Okay. Yes.
So there
One.
will be no biasing at all, right?
Yes.
This is what we teach all our learners in machine learning. The model should not be biased. So we don't have to.
So even in the lucky draw, we are having some more learning. Wow. Great.
Correct.
Yes. One moment. I'm just getting that added.
Yeah. Oh, not over there. Okay, that's fine also. Just add it in D column now. That would be easy. 1, 2 and just drag it down. Okay, cool. It's ending at what? What is the last record where it is ending?
It's at 65.
65, between 1 to 65. So guys, fingers crossed, right? 1 to 65, fingers crossed. So let us see.
And drum rolls too.
Random number generator. Between 1 to 65. First of all, okay, this is a trial run. Okay, this is a trial run just to show you how it works. Okay, we are not selecting the one. A trial run first between 1 to 65. When I click on generate, so it's going to generate a number like this. So whoever has this number will be the person who is going to run. Once again, let us do a trial run. Hold on, it's a trial run. So in this way, it will generate any number between 1 to 65. So we are going to choose anything between this 1 to 65. Let's see who gets the winner. So guys, hold on your breaths. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Should I click on generate? Perfect. So here I am clicking 1, 2, 3. Number 30, 30. 30 is the person who has won the lucky draw, and that turns out to be, well, we are going to give them lucky draw if and only if they are there in the meeting. Okay, else I'll once again generate it. So number 30 is Manjula Devangan. Hey, is Manjula there in the meeting? Well, am I correct? We'll do that way, right?
Yeah, that should be good. Actually, that's makes absolute sense.
Correct.
Manjula, if you can just say hi or just put your comment on chat.
Sometimes we see some random registrations who don't attend the webinar. So they
Yeah,
let
let's
the
be
lucky winner
fair.
be the one who is there in this.
Yes, let's be fair. I am just trying to have a look at the participants as well.
Oh, I don't think she is there.
No,
Then.
she's not here.
Okay, so one more
Everyone's
chance.
helping us out as well. Not here, not here, because everyone wants to claim that
Perfect.
$100.
So once
So
again, guys,
spin once more.
spinning.
Let's go for it.
3, 2, 1. 35. 35, 35, 35, 35. Nial. Nial should be there. I think she was there, right? Nial. Are you there? Oh, wow.
Niall Brennan. Okay, is that you?
Yes.
Yes. Niall Brennan. Okay. Congratulations, Nial. You are the lucky
Nice.
winner. You are getting $100 from Eduonix. The $100 voucher will be sent to you on an email, the one which you have used for registering. So mighty congratulations, Nial. And don't worry, others, don't lose hope, don't lose heart. We have actually gained something which has added a lot of gray cells to us today with the help of Dr. Darshan, who has helped us with knowledge, as well as we have an opportunity to enroll for the live training session. I don't know if the training session has been booked completely or if it's sold out completely, but if it isn't, here's the chance. I am just leaving the window open for the last 2 minutes before we end this entire lovely session with Dr. Darshan. uh, Doctor, you want to say anything about the attendees or the kind of participation we had today?
And they were really fantastic, I must say that. I mean, everyone, I mean, still, even if you see it now also, the attendance count is still 50. I mean, that clearly means that they have enjoyed the session. And the informal feedback that I took, that certainly means that they are certainly taking something out from these 3 hours. So that was indeed nice. And the best part was that people were continuously interactive. So they are, I can see the inquisitiveness in among them to learn. There is a zeal wherein they want to learn something, they want to make a difference in the society. So yes, if this is the approach, then certainly in a long run this is going to benefit all of them. And when they get enrolled for the courses, I'm pretty sure that they would be a much better furnished product than what they are as of now. But indeed, yes, a very good learning inclination which I found among all of the learners in today's webinar. So that's a very good thing,
Fabulous,
guys.
fabulous. Yeah, thank you so much for the kind words on behalf of the entire audience. Guys, one last thing is, in case you guys are not able to make up your mind for any reason, or you're not able to make any instant decision, I am generous enough to give you this opportunity for the next 24 hours to use the same link. I'll send it to you in email in the next 10 minutes. You'll receive an email from us with the link. And within the next 24 hours, if you're able to make the purchase, I will ensure that you not only get the free e-degree which we had promised, but will also ensure that you are getting the seat available as long as it's available. I am still not sure, hence I'm just rolling it out on the email for the next 24 hours. This is all you will be taking along with you, and not just that, there are 4 global instructors who will be guiding you out. So thank you everyone. I request Dr. Darshan, if you have any final words for the audience, we can wrap this up because it's kind of little late for everyone, at least in India. So thank you each and everyone from Eduonix. My name is Vivek. I am representing Eduonix, and Dr. Darshan, who's been such a lovely part of Eduonix training programs. He's is also being with us in this journey. So thank you, Doctor.
Thank
Uh,
you very much.
all right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your lovely comments. Yes, you will also receive a feedback form on the email, which you can fill up, so that we learn from any mistakes which we may have made unknowingly, and also keep getting better every time. So really, yes, even I enjoyed the session. Was really good for a person who is actually not even a technical person, is actually going to be having some gray cells added today because of the such a layman language explanation which Dr. Darshan gave. So really appreciate Dr. Darshan's effort today. Thank you, audience. I think we can wrap this up today. Uh, thank you, Dr. Darshan, on behalf of Eduonix and the audience. I would thank each and every one of the attendees. we can end this session. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
your
much,
time.
Vivek. Thank you,
Yeah.
all the attendees. Have a good
Yes.
night. Enjoy. Keep learning. Bye bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Have a good evening, guys, and a good day for wherever you are throughout the world. Thank you for joining in from far countries like the US, the Greece. Thank you so much. You can leave the session. Absolutely. Thank you so much for all this time. Thank you. From Kuwait as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, doctor. Have a
Thank
good
you very
evening.
much.
Yeah.
Most
Bye bye.
welcome.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye, all.
guys.